the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in wherever thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Oh, what happened? What happened? I don't know what happened there, Sarge, but it messed up in the beginning there. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over the few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro?
Heyo.
I love how everything always works. We get on an hour ahead of time, put all the stuff together, go live, and it goes, I'm just going to do what I want. Camera doesn't work. Audio doesn't work.
That's like a running gag since we've been doing this.
10 years. Yeah. It's always a thing. It's been pretty consistent with this program, but on today's show, chat, we're going to be talking about Quake 2. We're going to be talking about AI is more human than human. Okay. We're going to talk about Tron. We're going to talk about Chicken Jockey. Chicken Jockey. Okay. We're going to talk about Nintendo, talking about chicken jockeys. Okay. We're going to talk about Nintendo, about the price and everything else that they're doing. We're going to talk about Activision. Activision is aware that the skins are making Call of Duty look stupid. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it? Okay, we're going to talk about Star Citizen. 13 years. Still an alpha. Still an alpha. If it makes you feel better, Sarge, think about this. We've been doing the show. This is 11th season. The 11th season. Star Citizen is still an alpha 13 years later. Still the entire run of the show, Star Citizen's been an alpha. I think we're an alpha still. We're still an alpha as well. Okay. We're going to talk about WB. They have a new IP maybe launching this year, 2025. Okay. We're going to talk about gamers are reportedly losing interest in Battle Royale, Sarge. Right? People are also talking about Grand Theft Auto. The pricing is splitting the player base, Sarge, between Nintendo, leapfrogging 2K to this who can hit $100 faster.
You guys are falling for that shit. I can't wait.
Okay,
to start
Grand Theft Auto.
That's gonna be like the middle. That's gonna be the middle of the show, right? Because don't get me started with Nintendo right away. Okay.
We're talking about Ubisoft doubles down on players not owning digital games. Okay, and then we're going to talk about Amazon likes to blow money, right? I mean, Bezos is out in the middle of the desert making a clock that only rings once every century. Okay, and he's blowing $10 million on Tomb Raider. Okay.
He won't even be
buying
around.
12 pages of Lord of the Rings.
He won't even be around to see if the goddamn clock works.
Yeah, doesn't matter. It's just he's got money to spend. And then we're going to talk about PC gaming has gained, like console has lost, and we're gonna talk about that as well. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through. We don't do this Monday through Thursday. We do this Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm on morning show. We do Generation X Gaming, 8 p.m. Thursday nights, right here on 30 NSG. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can do super chats and appreciate us a little bit more than just watching us and hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. You can also watch us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else a podcast is formed. And you can watch or listen to the past broadcast on Spotify 1 week after this. So if you're not here when the show is live, the only way you can watch it is past broadcast right here on 30 NSG, and then listening to it after the fact Wednesday night, Thursday morning for the last week's show that goes live then. So, all right, Sarge, let's get to what we've been playing. If I can find... The only reason we do these things is so I can like drink, pick my nose, wipe the crust out of my eyes. That's the only reason we have these inserts here. What have you been playing, Sarge? Another week? What have you been playing?
I got some stuff this time around.
Yeah, I know. We played Borderlands 3. We'll talk about that. So keep that for the last one. Talk about the other stuff you've played.
Well, I've been playing the crap out of MechWarrior 5 Clans, or is it just MechWarrior Clans?
How is that?
Like I said before, I enjoy the mech games that have weightiness to them. I don't like that. Like, I know everyone likes that speedy mech thing, that game that came out not too long ago. I forget what it was called. But it had boss fights. It's just you and a mech speeding around. It reminded me of like, what was that Harrier game? Like from in the arcade. You know what I'm talking about, right? What the hell was it called?
I'm trying to remember it.
Something Harrier. Something Harrier. It was like an arcade game. But it's like that kind of thing. Like it's always a boss. You're really fast. You have all.
Is that weapons. The arcade game that had the sub thing on it?
I don't think it was the sub thing. I forget what it was called.
Which one was? There was one.
There's a lot of games, man.
There was a ship one that I forget if it was a periscope. It used to.
Oh, that was old. That was old as fuck, bro. That was a submarine game.
Yeah, but then there's another one where it had the controls.
That was called Depth Charge. Is that what
that was?
Okay. Yeah. That's old as fuck. I can't remember, but something Harrier something. But anyway, point being is the MechWarrior 5 game. I played MechWarrior 5, and I played about halfway through. But I lost like the momentum. I don't know how to explain it to you. Like the game is kind of open, where you have to pick certain planets in order to fund your mechs. Like it's a business basically, right? So, and you're balancing out the factions. So if I keep picking these missions because I think their missions are cool, but I'm getting lower factions because of it, then those guys hate me, and then I can't be alliance with them, and I get less money from them if they want me to do a job. So it's this whole balancing act from MechWarrior 5. In this one, you're part of the clans on the outskirts attacking the central planets, basically Earth, Terra, and the rest of the inner sphere, as they call it. And so it's not as open. It's almost it's like linear. And so as I'm upgrading mechs and I'm figuring out the weapon systems, if I make a mistake or I don't have enough money, I got to play so many missions with a crappy mech or an outdated mech or weapon systems that don't jive well with that mech. And so I'm playing with substandard tonnage. And in that game, it's always about tonnage, right? So it's like the mission you start off with would be like a 400-ton mission, and you have 5 mechs. So it has to be 5 mechs under 400 tonnage.
This is called MechWarrior Clans 5, right?
Is it 5 clans? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah. I think it's called Clans. This one's called Clans.
MechWarrior Clans?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find.
I'm not sure if it has crossplay, Travis, but I like it because it's meaty. Like I'll put it this way: I'm so old that I played the.
How old are you, Sarge?
I'm old. I'm the old guy in the room. Like I played the MechWarrior game on the Apple IIc, and that had shitty graphics, and I loved it to death. Right, I love that game to death.
Is this the game?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
The story is actually very good, and I will say this, and I know a lot of people don't talk about these kind of things, right? It's let's just call it a double-A game, just so we can get all the people who are going to start screaming me out of the room. All right, let's say it's a double-A game, right? So the detail of the maps is not like extravagant, but it's like tactile. Like it's about what the base is, what planet you're on, weather system thing. If you can't see. But the mechs look good. Everyone moves around really well. The controls are meaty. I like the way the controls are. And the acting for the cutscenes is really good. Like, the eyes have everything, bro. Like, remember when we talked about Mass Effect and we said if the eye animations were better, you would feel more attached? Well, this game has the facial recognition system I guess they were using for the actors, because everything feels like I'm watching like a little movie. Like the eyes they're showing emotion in the eyes about what they're talking about, and it's a good story. I like it. No, not World War II old. Probably more like Gulf War old.
Oh, Vietnam War old.
I'm not that old, bro.
Oh, that's your early 70s.
Yeah. So I really like it, and so I've been playing the crap out of it. I found some OP mechs, because I like tinkering, so I figured out what mechs work really well. And it's a lot more streamlined. Like MechWarrior 5, you have to understand the game pretty well to know what gear you can put on the mech, and it's a lot of tinkering. In this one, it's much more streamlined. where like it's more of a beginner type thing where like if you've never played MechWarrior before, like I don't know, I don't like this, I can't get a missile launcher, and so you can unlock like different pods of weapons and just switch
Right.
them on your arms and your chest or whatever else, and so it makes it easier to modify. So yeah, that's good. I like that one, Paul. Paul's good. That's a good one. Anyway, what I do like about it is I think it was it
That's right, Paul. We never landed there.
Altern, I think it was Altern, and somebody else in chat was talking about it. Like, you can just pop in. Like, if you have the game, you can pop in for missions. We can actually be in the game together and go on missions. See, that kind of stuff I like. Now, I don't know if it's crossplay 100% because I really didn't look into it, but I do know that you can jump in the game and then somebody else has the game. So I'm not sure about crossplay, but I'm having fun with it. But then I played it for about 10 days straight. And then I kind of calmed down a little bit, and then we started playing Borderlands last night. And we played Borderlands last night. I'm like, oh, I haven't played a Borderlands game in so long. I'm actually tolerating it. Like I can actually play it and enjoy it because I haven't played it in so long. And I'm interested in learning the character. So I'm probably going to play without you, but with a different character.
I already knew that.
With a different character.
I said that last night on stream. I said, so Sarge, are you going to play this game with a different character? I knew you were going to do that. Of course.
I have
You've
to.
done that with every single game in our entire childhood and adult life.
I don't even know why you're asking.
I said it as a joke. I was like, so Sarge, you're going to make a new character and play the game without me? You're like, no, I'm not going to play the game without you. I was like, sure.
Robert, I mean, 2 words, baby. Game Pass. I mean, I don't know. Like, my issue, and I will wholeheartedly admit this, I do not like the way gaming is going with the Game Pass model. Don't like it. However, they have conditioned me to believe that they can no longer release a game on time and complete when they say, so there's zero reason for me to purchase a game day one. And if I wait long enough, the game that I like to try and don't want to spend full price for will eventually be on Game Pass. So the conditioning is I'll just wait. I don't care.
I look at it this way, Sarge. Are you ready for this? Like, I'm in my late 40s or mid 40s right now, going into my late 40s. Okay. When I get older, we're not going to have Social Security. Okay.
Oh, no.
So right now, I look at Game Pass as my Social Security, right? The other people pay for the game, and I just get games, right? That's what I'm reaping. I'm reaping. I paid so many games at full price over the last 43 years, okay, that I don't need to pay full price for games anymore. I'm collecting my check, okay? I'm collecting my retirement check, which is Game Pass, right? That's the way I look at it now.
I mean, it's a lot of time vested. Like, I could be doing a lot of other more degenerate things, and I think playing video games to me actually saves me money, right? What I used to do when I was younger is every time I thought about doing something wrong, I would just put that amount of money in an account because I know how much money I would spend if I left the house, because I used to go down to Miami a lot. Like, I lived in South Beach a lot, okay? So, like, on occasion, I'd come to my senses. I'm like, maybe if I don't go to South Beach this weekend and I just save that money, what would happen? It's amazing how much money you save if you don't.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't blow it on crap.
Yeah, Robert Jones, of course. I buy game. I don't buy full price. I buy maybe full price games, maybe 3 a year, 4 a year. Other than that, we're buying the $40, $50, $20 games, right? I bought 6 games last year off of Steam, right? Just to fuck around with, just because it was fun, right?
I mean, my issue is I like the game because of the MechWarrior 5, because you can play co-op if you want to. So then you get your buddy in there, and he's got his all specced out mech, and you guys can just go cruising, and you can go and you can actually do 5v5 or 6v6 battles. You do that too.
Dupless, you have TDS, man. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has everything to do with the way the United States is and how we're not going to get Social Security because of the boomers class. But that's no here nor there.
Yeah, there's a long list of stuff, man. We're not going to get.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Trump and why he's not cutting. Yeah, he's not cutting Social Security. I'm talking about there's millions of people that are in the boomers age that are collecting Social Security,
and that's right. People paying into it,
and those people paying in.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Once again, it's one of those hard topics called supply and demand. I know everyone hates talking about it, but if you spend more than you make, you're in debt. And if you make more than you spend and don't have a drug addiction, you can save money and invest.
Do you know what I had to do today? It killed me, Sarge. I had a flat tire. Right?
Oh no! When
And
where?
What do you mean where? Oh, it was at my house.
Okay.
Right? It was. I was taking my son to school this morning, and I noticed it was low. Okay, and I was like, "Fuck!" So I stopped, but I couldn't find my pump, right? Because I have one of those plug in the into the socket.
Yeah. You
Couldn't
have all
find
the
it.
same gadgets that I have
Yeah.
that mom bought. We all know.
Couldn't find it. Okay, so then I went to the gas station, and the gas station that's by my house, their air pump was broke. Dropped the kid off at school. Went to the next one afterwards. That one was broke, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I didn't get air right in the morning. Went to go pick him up today. After school, went to the third gas station. Guess how much air is?
250.
$2.50. It hurt me. I looked at the tire and went $2.50. I was like,
For air.
right, for air. Credit card $2.50. Change, exact change $2. Okay.
Oh,
I was like, what is this, fucking Nintendo prices? Right. So I was looking at the tire and debating, should I ride home and just use the air pump for like the tire for my bike inside the tire, or should I pay $2.50?
You have the machine. That you can
I couldn't
plug
find it. I can't find it. Are you listening? That was the first part of the conversation. I could not find it.
It's in the car. It should be in the car at all
$2.
times.
I understand that. It's not in there. $2.50 for air. This is why Wawa,
Where would it go?
right? $2.50 for air. What the fuck are we talking about? Right? Wawa free, but there's a line around the block because everyone's going to Wawa.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but why are so many people driving around on low tires? Like the car tells you. Why is everybody driving around? Have you seen people's tires, bro?
I was just gonna say that, Robert. You beat me to the joke. Yeah, Wawa is the Game Pass of the air.
Yeah. Yeah. You do realize that when people get, I'm not going to say this as official, but I'm willing to bet a decent amount of money that if we were to look up a statistic that says when people get back their tax refund, what do they do with it? I can guarantee you one of the top 3 things is buy tires for the car. Because have you seen people's tires, bro? They drive.
Bald.
The tires are. There's nothing, dude. It's just
there's
it's
no
just
tread.
a piece of rubber, and
Yeah.
they're like
it's like their soles on their shoes.
they're fine. Like, bro, we understand tires are expensive. Rubber's expensive. I get that, but Jesus Christ, dude.
Let's not kill everybody else on the road because of your cheapness of your tires, right? All right, what else have you been playing, Sarge? As we're derailing this conversation.
Oh, I was derailing. For some reason, I still can't get back into Baldur's Gate 3. It's sitting right there. I look at it every day.
It's a great
But
game, though. Great game.
But I still play. I am playing Dawn of War 2. I don't want to say competitively, but against people who play the game a lot. So I'm a little frustrated, but I'm learning a lot. So that's the only way you learn is by getting your ass kicked, right? Like I like to pick Chaos, and Chaos doesn't have a lot of. How do I say this? It's more of a brute force group than it is anybody else, and so
Right.
I'm always getting my ass kicked by likes, and I don't want to have to agree with Travis, but I'm getting my ass kicked by the fucking Eldar. I hate them, right? So it's like as I'm playing the game, I'm like, these fucking Eldar. As soon as I see I'm playing against another guy, I'm like, here we go. Like I already know what's coming because they're all like sneaky. They hide around there. They're like guys that come up and slap you in the face and then run away. Like that's the kind of battle you're having. Like, and they run around a car. Like there's a car. There's a car in front of you, right? And so it takes me time to jump on top of the car. I just want to jump on and pound them, right? But you have to chase them around the whole map like half the time. I hate it. But it's a fun game. It's actually if Dawn of War 2 had the base building of 1, but with the combat system that they have in 2, I think that would be the perfect game. But
all right, so I finished up before we start talking about Borderlands. I finished up Avowed. I went back to Avowed. Was that Monday? Was that this week? I think I did it Monday. Yeah. So on Monday, I finished Avowed. Went back, finished the last boss.
did you actually finish it? Because I watched something. I watched what I thought was the ending. You were playing something, and I was like, "What's going on?"
All right. So leading up to this, I put in about 52 hours, 53 hours before I started on Monday, and we played another 4 hours, whatever it was. Maybe it was 52 hours. We ended up almost 56. I liked the game up to the point. I really liked the exploration of the game. Okay. But at this point, I was just done with the game, right? I'm done. I was done before I got done with the game. Mentally, I stopped playing for 2 weeks, came back. I wanted to finish it. I didn't want to leave it hanging. I wanted to finish it and complete it. Enjoy the combat, enjoy the exploration, but the story at the end. I didn't care about the dialogue because during the actual campaign, all your companions, you have like these stories with them, and they close them off, or at least you think they do, right? You're like, oh, go talk to this person. You feel bad for them. They close they have closure. But then the end of the game comes, and they're all on the mission with you, and you're going through the garden, okay, which is this end board, okay, because you're going towards the god that you're fighting, okay, or that you think you're going to fight, okay. So
did you fight the same guy? Did you fight the same guy?
Hold on a second. Right. So as I'm going through the garden, each of the companions are like, "Oh no," because it's the garden makes you see things that is not really there, right? So they're bringing up regurgitated storylines that they already did in the game. And I was like, nope, skip. Okay. Then I finally get to the final boss, which I thought was the final boss. And I get to the god. The god's in slow motion, talking in slow motion. They're like, do you want to help me? And you're like, for God's sakes. So I didn't help the god. I rejected them. They gave me the power anyway. And then I leave, which I thought was going to be the final boss. Rule number one, anytime there's a board named the Garden, Black Garden, like in Destiny, the Garden in Avowed.
Still mad.
They're shitty fucking boards. Okay?
Still mad, bro. Still
anyway, we're done with that. We go back to the regular world, and the boss I fight for the end boss is a boss I fought 2 other times before. So this is the 3rd time I'm fighting it. 2nd time? 3rd time. I forget. Doesn't fucking matter. And then when you beat the boss, that's it. It ends right there. And then it goes into a slideshow, right? It goes into a slideshow, about 15 minutes of them talking, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes back to the main menu. There's no new game plus. There's no nothing. It just goes back to the end menu. So then I went back to the save, and it saved at the end of the fight of the boss.
It was a long save, right?
No.
What was the time between the save and the end of the game?
It was like 30 minutes. Right?
Yep.
So the last save is after you kill the boss. So when you come back, you're going right into the credits again. Right? So I'm like, how's this going to work if they bring DLC out? Right? If they bring DLC to this game, which I think they are, how am I going to continue my game with that character? Do I have to start over and play the game, or do I just start the DLC content separately? Anyway, I was very disappointed. It abruptly ended. The final boss fight, not very good. I was OP. No sweating problem. Like, I shot it with my gun. I was doing 6,000 damage, critical hits and whatnot. So I was just like, okay, cool. So that was Avowed. Okay. Then on Tuesday, I started with South of Midnight. South of Midnight. Let me show you this a little bit, Sarge. So South of Midnight, it started off, and I didn't really understand because the character, I had to look it up after the stream was done. The character here, Hazel, has tattoos on her, okay? And I was like, all right, well, that means she's got to be like 18, right? 18, 19, unless her mom, whatever, just as part of the lore, right? So she's got to be 18, 19, but then she acts like she's like 13, 15, okay? She's like the way the story's happening, and then it feels like your character, and maybe they'll explain this throughout the story, I don't know, but your character doesn't feel like it's in the world that you're playing in. And let me explain. There's a fucking hurricane going on outside. Okay? There's a hurricane going outside. Wind is blowing. Rain is going sideways. Things are blowing by you. The character model, she's got pigtails. She's got a sweater wrapped around her waist. It doesn't interact with the weather. It doesn't interact with it. She's not wet. The rain's pouring down. She's not, like, she's just like a separate entity within this world, right? So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's a dream or something. I don't know yet. Okay. The written dialogue in this is bad. The voice acting is good, but the written dialogue is terrible. Okay. The environment is nice. It's beautiful, but the bad part about that is it's very linear. Very, very linear, right? The combat in the game, okay,
so
is
would you say that it's a more modern version of Full Throttle from back in the day, just with better controls?
I enjoyed Full Throttle better.
But Full Throttle's very linear.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's fights in the game, Okay, there's fights in the game. The combat is trash. Trash.
No, like trash.
Like it's trash.
It's
terrible.
It looks decent.
No, it's terrible. Okay,
It's trash.
so,
like real trash.
yeah, it's a complete turnoff of the game, right? Complete turnoff. So much so, Sarge, that Eclipse, okay, in chat while we were playing the game, I jokingly said, "I wish I could skip combat." Right? I didn't know. I said, "I wish you could skip combat," which is funny. It's funny because it's part of the game. So obviously you can't skip the combat because it's part of the game, right? You need to have the combat. The combat areas are in the designated zones. There's only combat in these designated arenas. There's no combat outside of the designated arenas. It's like a ride. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times until you get to that area, then you can have a fight, okay? Once you start the fight, you're stuck in that, and if you die, you're stuck in there. You keep repeating, and then you can skip the fight. So much so, in the option menu, Eclipse told me you can skip the fights. I was like, what? That's silly. I thought he was joking with me. Okay, hold on a second. At the end of the stream, I went to the menu system, and I scrolled down, and sure enough, you can skip fighting in this game. You can skip the boss fights. You can skip the actual fights. And I thought to myself, I was like, they knew that their combat was so bad that they decided to put I don't want to combat in the game, and you can shut it off.
Well, I don't know a lot about the game, but the way you're describing how they developed it says to me that there may be a younger studio and they were trying their best, so they put these conveniences in the game. Would you say that would be?
It's not a convenience.
But not being able, but skipping combat is a convenience because they knew.
No, well, they made the bad combat, so they went, "How do we fix this?" And they said, "Well, what about if we just skip it?"
Well, we don't have enough time to fix it, so that's
right. We don't have enough time to fix it, so let's just put a button in there to skip it.
But that's what I mean when I say it's a younger studio learning. Can we just say it's that?
Propulsion's not a young studio, though.
I mean, maybe the group that's now working there is.
Maybe, yeah. So the way I look at it is, if I think they added the combat afterwards. Like, it was an afterthought in this game. It was like the last thing they put in the game.
They wanted it to be like a little puzzle-solving walk-around game?
The puzzles are not very hard, but there's
that's
a little bit of puzzles.
That's why the fighting zones are designated?
Yeah. This is why I think they added the combat later, all right? And they put them in designated zones, right? Going through the puzzles, going through the actual game itself, the platform jumping, the gliding, the finding the wisps or whatever the flooties or whatever they're called. Okay, during the actual thing, fine. It's a good game when it comes to this part of the game where you're jumping from landing to landing, finding little things, doing little puzzles. But the combat feels like they added it later. There's a skill tree. Let me see if I can get a picture of the skill tree. All right, right here. Okay, the skill tree might as well not even be a skill tree. Okay, so let me.
But these are all things that lead up to my question: that they're a new studio, that these guys are new doing what they're trying. They're nice.
So the skill tree here, you got to get the weavers, blists, whatever. Okay, and there's the general ones, and then there's the direct ones that you go into your abilities. Okay, in the general, you get to choose because you have enough. I have 85. It's 80 to get one. Okay. You get to choose which one you want to do. That's the choice. I get to choose at the beginning which one I want to do, but they're all going to get filled at some point because that's what you have. Right now, I have all of them filled except the ones that I have to find in Chapter 6 that unlock afterwards. So it's like, why even give me the option to which one to choose? Just unlock it for me. Be like, oh, this is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, level 7 type of thing, right? It seems to me, again, this is a after the point. Because they added combat, they were like, well, what about if we add an upgrade tree type of thing? And it was like an afterthought. Because think about this. If I choose to skip the battles, okay, why do I need the upgrade tree? The upgrade tree is 100% linked to
but
the weavers you find and the battle that you do.
You assess a game based on your past experiences and how you played games. if you're the way you're describing this is a checklist of mechanics in a game like this and what they were going to try. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times I don't get mad when a game like this comes out, and to some people it's substandard, because you need people to try different things in order for them to get better at the mechanics of making a better game, right? You and I both talked about the upper echelon of people who grew up making the games that we all loved are aging out,
Right.
right? And with the school system, and I don't mean school in general, I'm like, but with the school system of learning how to code, learning how to program, finding a job, finding a good studio, growth within that studio, like somebody is there who can be a mentor to somebody else and teach them, right? I'm pretty sure is beat up, and we're not getting people taught correctly. So we're having these groups of studios learning basically from scratch, because you can watch the failures live as we're watching them release games, right? And so everyone keeps saying the same thing. Oh, it's the best AAA studio in the last 10 years. And it
Right.
comes out and it's dog shit. Well, dog shit to us because we've seen everything, but not to people who've never played before and see a cool game. It looks kind of fun. Let's try it. The rest of us are screaming, our hair's on fire. What's wrong with this game? This is X so-and-so studio. They should be the fucking top. Those people are gone, bro. So you got to I don't want to be negative against everybody, but you got to let them grow. You got to let them at least attempt these games, right? Now, I know what everyone's going to say. Game Pass game, pieces of shit. However, everybody can say it, but remember, the model for Game Pass is to give them money up front for their game to be
It's also
there.
not to make $200 million games and put them on there. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. You're a balance. See, this is why the balancing act for Game Pass in general makes it such a divisive conversation, especially with the chat that we have, because there's so many polarizing opinions about it. But if you look at it from the business point of view, we are creating an area where we are getting reoccurring revenue every month, and we can spend that money to sub out other studios to make games for us that might not have ever been noticed before, right? Kind of like an up and coming like producer who made music, right? He's a producer. He wants to find a band. So what does he do? He doesn't hang out in the city. He goes cross country and he listens to people play inside the little fucking bars and the venues. And that's how you find the double A people and hire them, right? Same thing. We got new guys coming out of school. They're trying to do their best, but where do they go? If these people come out of school and work for these game companies and they don't have any anchors inside those studios who are not out of their fucking mind or DEI paid or nothing, like loyal gamer who's like, I love games. What do you guys want to know? I'll teach you. Stay after work. I'll teach you how to code. I'll teach you how to do this. Like, I think that shit is gone. Right. And I think that if the ones that have that, you notice right away, because if you notice a game studio that's up and around, but you know half their guys are gone, but the game's still good, you know somebody's teaching them.
Right.
So, all games can't be amazing. Is it a decent game besides the combat? If you take the combat out, is it a decent game?
I don't know. I haven't taken the combat out yet. Okay, I was waiting to get to the big boss fight to see what the boss fight is, because I haven't got to the big boss fight yet. I played like smaller bosses, but I haven't fought the giant crocodile or gator that I've.
Well, what you played? If you don't look at the combat, you're playing the game other ways. Do you like?
I think it's a nice, as Altern says, they might as well shut off the thing and leave it as a puzzle thing. I think it's a really nice platform. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous game. I like the music, right? I think the story's fine. I don't think the story's like fantastic, but I also don't think it's shit. The dialogue, though, the written dialogue is like what's happening. The voice acting is good.
Writing weak.
Writing's weak. Voice
decent.
acting's strong. Music is strong. Platforming is strong. Okay. Combat, afterthought.
Okay.
Afterthought. And Paul earlier said, let me bring up what Paul said up here. Where'd you say, Paul? Paul said, a lot of games let you basically skip gameplay now. It's a name for accessibility. Sure. All right. And I understand that, right? I understand that. But at the same time, you can tell that combat in this game wasn't their priority. Okay. Again, I don't know this for a fact. I would have to interview or someone would have to come out and say this, but it seems like they added this after the fact, hence why the combat is in a designated area, hence why the upgrade skills, they're like, how do we add more value to this game, right? Because this game is what, $50? I think it's a $50 game if you buy it separately, okay? If you paid $50 for this, if you take the combat out, you take the upgrade tree out, and you're just doing that, it's not a $50 game. I think they added this type of stuff to give a little bit more value, and this is why they can charge $50 for it. Maybe it's even $60. Okay, it's 40 on PC. What is it on Game Pass? So it's right. It's 50. 50 is correct, right? I think they did that for value. Again, my speculation. I can't say that's for true, but the way I play the game, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. There's something off about it. And if the fighting was in the middle of the board, like any other game, you know what I mean? Like Mario, you could stomp on people's heads and stuff on the way to through the board. This is, imagine going through Mario. There's nothing on the board, and then you get to the designated fighting area, and then you fight something, right? Like the end board of like a Bowser.
That's probably where they're weak. They're transitioning of areas. Like
so
there's all kinds of things, bro.
That's my I guess my 2 cents on this game. I think I'm gonna finish it because it's a short game. It's like an 8 to 10 hour game. I'm 4 hours already in. I'm in like chapter 5, going to 6. So I might finish it just to see the rest of the story, but I'm not really enjoying the combat. Maybe I'll shut it off. Maybe I'll do journalistic mode, right? Maybe I'll just shut off the battle pass or the battling and just skip it for the story. I don't know.
And then write a review based on the things you didn't play.
Yeah, combat too hard. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about Borderlands 3 real fast, right? Didn't play it for the 5 years that it was out. I played it at a convention. Okay.
I was really mad that they destroyed that kid's life, so I didn't want to support them.
Yeah, I boycotted the company during that time period where they sent Men in Black people to the kid's house, and they were just assholes. They were just assholes at that time. I was like, you know what? I'm not buying it. And by that time, other games came out. We were still playing Destiny and whatnot.
Yeah, they were trying. They were trying to be like Nintendo, but with FBI agents.
Right. So played it last night. We played it with Travis. We played it with First Loser. We played it with Okuda Papa. I thought it was fun. I wasn't really paying attention to the story. I really don't care about the story much. And I think it's actually pretty fun. I think the quality of life stuff, like Okuda Papa told us last night, like we're about 3 hours in. Okay, he said, "Hey, I don't know if you know this, but if you go to options and then go down to gear, when you can set it to common, uncommon, whatever. And anytime a green drops on the ground now or below, you pick it up and automatically sells it. You don't have to like load it into your inventory."
Game changer,
right? Game changer. Little things like that. The gun, you could change the rockets on the gun, or you could change it back to bullets, like little things like that.
Not on all guns.
No, not all things.
You have to pay attention to it.
Yeah. So there's little things like that. The iridium is not used for actual upgrades anymore. Your money in the game is used for upgrades, and your iridium is used for like skins and whatnot, which I thought was a nice upgrade as well. You can fast travel now anywhere you want on the map once you've unlocked the area, right? So that's nice as well.
Also, all guns are your own.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can have the option in the beginning. All your loot that you open up a chest is your own.
But that's not an option, is it? That's that way.
Yeah,
normally,
it's an option
isn't
in
it?
the beginning. Yeah, it's an option in the beginning.
So you can have the option where the loot's
you
the
can
loot,
do old school.
everyone fights over it.
Yeah, you could do old school or new school.
Or new school.
Yeah.
Well, new school has you have a lot of more options.
A lot more options, because now I open a chest, there's 4 guns there. You open it, it's 4 more guns, and then he opens it, it's 4 more guns, and
So
we can see
basically 16 guns
Right.
every time you open up a chest. So
Yeah.
if I say I like shotties, then everyone's just passing guns around, right?
Yeah. Mo says, "Hey Mike, will you be a drug dealer for us on stream?" What do you mean for that game that's on Steam right now, the drug dealing game? Was it Schedule 1? Is that what it's called?
Is a drug dealer game?
Yeah, you're like you start your drug empire. There's other games like that, but this one came out and like blew up.
My favorite game that was like that, and a lot of people didn't talk about it because it was done a while back, was Scarface the sequel.
Oh, Scarface was good, yeah.
Right? Because Scarface the sequel was what would happen if during the scene where his mansion was under attack, that he survived. That was basically what the video game was. So at the end, when the guy sneaks up behind him to blow him away with the shotgun, at that moment, you find out the guy's behind you and you're able to kill him before he kills you. But everyone thinks that you're dead because of all the chaos that's going on and the hitman and everybody else attacked the mansion. So I like that way. You start with nothing, and then you're actually like, I can't believe that someone didn't shut it down. Like, you're actually dealing drugs. Yeah. Like you're attacking dealers, taking over street corners, and then making up little zones. And then when you get big enough, you actually took a boat to Cuba or the Bahamas to get large shipments of drugs. Get this. Then when you try to bring them back, you have to elude the Coast Guard to get it back to Miami. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, if that game was made today, shut it down. They'd be shutting that game down immediately.
Yeah, Altern, you can set it in the options where you can set what guns you drop, and you can just sell as soon as you pick it up.
Game.
It sells it. It sells it right away.
Yeah.
Altern says I have 46 hours and I never knew that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Skippy says Scarface was the best.
Skippy, did you play it? You know which game I'm talking about, right? It was a PC game, but for some reason it slipped out on the original Xbox for like a limited time. Do you remember that? It was on the original Xbox, bro, for a limited time, and then it disappeared. It was on PC. Yeah, crazy. And he did all the lines. He sounded like Tony Montana. They had a guy that sounded like Tony Montana. Hilarious. Yeah, hilarious. Welcome back, Skip. Haven't seen you in a while.
All right. That's the games we've been playing. So I'm enjoying Borderlands. We played about 3.5 hours. We're gonna jump back into it next week, and Sarge's gonna play at least four times through every character before next week.
I like to explore the maps and look around, bro.
I get it. I just sit back and let you do what you do.
I like to level up, bro. I want to see what the character does.
I'm not giving you shit about it. It's just funny. That's all. All right. Let's go to what we've been not what we've been playing. Top stories. All right, Sarge. Top stories. All right. Let's start off with the AI stories. Okay. There's a couple AI stories.
I think I still have the disc for Scarface for the PC.
Do you?
Yeah, I wonder if it would work on my machine. It'd probably be too quick, but the game would probably crash.
Oh, it would probably work. So Microsoft has created an AI-generated replica of Quake 2. I talked about this earlier this week, that you can actually play in a browser right now, Sarge. Now, obviously, you look at it, it's like 5 frames per second. It almost looks as good as the Nintendo Switch, you know, when they show the playing games on the bottom of the corner.
I don't know why everybody's so harsh on this. This is a leap forward for what they want to do, bro.
Yeah. So this is the worst it's going to be. I said this on Monday's show that just a couple years ago, I think it was like 1.5 to 2 years ago. Do you remember Will Smith eating spaghetti? It was AI generated. His face was like morphing and all this other stuff. And people were like, "This is stupid. This is never going to work." Now there's people making like short films with just AI created things, and people don't know it's AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and what we call it, OnlyFans is going to become all AI girls run by men, and men simping out to other men.
That's what it is right now. Yeah. So right now they showed off Copilot. Now Copilot is Microsoft's ChatGPT. You know, it's all that stuff. Twitter's Gronk. This is their Copilot. Okay, it's actually pretty good. I've been using it quite a bit. I like to test these things out with ChatGPT, Gronk, and whatnot, because I think I got my finger on the pulse and stuff, so I stay with it, try to learn the stuff, right? And Copilot's pretty good when you're talking to it and stuff. It's pretty intuitive. This is, to me, this is very impressive. And I know a lot of people look at this, Sarge, and think that, well, this is going to take away jobs. This is going to do different things. And people are like, oh, it's never going to get to that point. Some people think it's never going to get to that point, and other people think it's going to steal jobs and whatnot.
Brains are broken, dude.
Yeah. So my question to you is, how fast do you think that a game is going to come out? It's going to be completely made by AI. You're going to hear stories about it, not knowing it's AI. It'll say like 2 guys worked on it, right? That's what they'll tell you. 2 guys worked on it, but it's AI. How fast do you think this is going to happen where a game comes out and is sold in Steam or whatever, fully AI, and it's actually a playable, and it works better than most games that come out today?
Well, let's put it this way. The first game that they're going to allow an AI to do is probably going to be like a Candy Crush or Clash of Clans type of game, right? Because that one will make the most money. And I think that would be the easiest one for an AI to do coding for, because It's all math and numbers, not a lot of graphics, right? So I think that would be it. But I would say, first of all, the gaming market would love to have less developers and make more money, right? Like we've talked about this in the past, but the catch-22 is if we say that having AI do coding is more positive because that means that studios will need less people but can still pump out a game in a reasonable amount of
and
time.
still charge you $80, $90.
And still charge you the same amount. Right.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to look at it as saying, like, yeah, they can do that. But that would also mean that studios can have more studios can be created with a lower budget and still pump out quality games because AI is actually doing it. So instead of having a studio with 6,000 people in it, right, you have maybe 100 studios with 300 or 400 people in it and still pumping out a game because AI is doing it. I would say, depending on the type of complexity of the game, and I think one of the other issues is power. You need a lot of power for the AI to pull enough energy and resources to do the computing, to do the coding. Plus, you'd have to code it. You'd have to teach it. It has to learn, right? In the beginning, you're telling it what to do. Like you're telling it C+, or you're telling it all with Linux. You're explaining to the AI what to do. Here's the programs. And then afterwards, you're hoping it learns, right? When it gets to the point where it's actually learning, maybe 2 years.
You don't even have to do that, Sarge. See, you don't mess with it, so you don't even know. So basically, what all you have to do is, because it's feeding off the internet. It's feeding anything that's on the internet. Basically, they could put in, and they could type in. You could type in a command of make a game, like Krebs is saying, like Snake, right? Or let's say make a game like the original, I don't know, the Temco Bowl of football, right? It will search the internet, look it up, and instantaneously put together a rough copy of what that game is. Now, they did that with this. This is not coded. This is Copilot taking it and making Quake on the fly. That's what this is. That's why when you look at it, the characters are blurry and whatnot, because it's literally feeding this together. Okay, it's all piecing it together. Okay,
this is what I'm saying. It needs a lot of power to figure it out. I get it.
Krebsy's asking the question.
Look at 2 years.
We already have games made with AI, so the question needs to be more stipulation. Do we need like Elden Ring? I'm talking games like AA games. AA's games are going to come out. You're going to hear like Tunic or Cuphead, like a game like that. Someone says, I'm a developer. I made this game by myself. It's made by AI. You're not going to know it's made by AI because they're not going to tell you it's made by AI. You know what I'm saying?
But the way AI works, it has to learn, right? So
sure.
What's happening right now is we're in 2025, right?
So you got to make a game that's really popular and has a lot of footage out there.
No, AI is starting where, like you guys are talking about, Snake and the original Doom and Quake series. So that's like the late 80s, early 90s. So basically, AI is just catching up to what we know today.
Exponentially.
I know this.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you, 2 years. 2 years, you're got a decent game. Nah, 2 years.
I think less than that. I'm going to say, here we go.
Book it.
I'm going to say
2 years, man.
Oh, I got to book it first? Okay,
yeah.
Let me book it.
You can find it later. You have to book it so you can find it later.
All right, let's book this.
Complexities of games that you're talking about, it takes time. It is exponential.
Oh, it doesn't have to be complex.
We're doing 25 years in 2 years, bro. That's exponential.
I'm thinking you get a game AI where you won't even be able to tell it's AI until they tell you it's AI. 18 months. 15 to 18 months, we're going to hear a story about a game came out, made 100% AI, and then we start getting stories of this is bullshit. Everyone's going to lose their job. We don't need this anything. This is what's going to happen. 18 months max is where we see a game come out and it's sold. And it's
18 months.
18 months.
So Christmas next year.
What are we in March? We're in April. Yeah. So May.
That's fall.
Yeah.
That's fall.
About holiday
September,
season of December of 2026.
Right. I'm going to tell you it's 2 years.
All right. So you're going about 6 more months more than me.
Like a basic game, not like Mass Effect.
No, you know who's chomping at the bit of this, though?
EA.
What? EA is chomping at the bit of this, 100%. They're sitting back going, how can we get Madden to run on this, right? That's
EA,
exactly what they're trying to do. All right, so you say 24 months, I say 18. Let's book it.
Might be in rehab by the time that happens.
Speaking from one AI story to the next, okay? One AI story to the next. An AI model has officially passed the Turing test. I don't know what the fucking Turing test is, Sarge. Okay? It says more human than humans. Question mark? Okay, so let's see what this has to say. It says one of the industry's leading large language models has passed a Turing test, a long-standing barometer for human-like intelligence. Okay, in a new preprint study awaiting peer review, researchers report that in three-party versions of Turing test, okay, in which participants chat with a human and AI at the same time, and when evaluated which is which, OpenAI GPT 4.5 model was deemed to be the human 73% of the time. And when instructed to adopt a persona, the significant higher than the random chance of 50%, suggesting that the Turing test has re-astoundingly been beaten, right? So the way I understand this is that the AI is more human than human, right? They're beating the test more than the humans are beating the test. Okay, it says research evaluated that the Meta's Llama 3.1 model, OpenAI GPT 4.0 model, an early chatbot known as Eliza, developed some 8 years ago. People were also no better than a chance of distinguishing humans from GPT 4.5. Okay, wrote an author. The Turing test is named after the British mathematic computer scientist Alan Turing. In 1950, Turing proposed one way to assess a machine's intelligence was having it engage in text-based conversations with a human, okay, who at the same time would also hold a text-based conversation with another human out of sight. Turing called this a imitation game. So there you go.
Well,
so
that's the first step. We'll see. We'll see.
So this AI that's smarter than human could be making the next video game, and this could be Max Headroom. This is Max Headroom from Max Headroom Studios, making video games, all AI created, right? I mean, game companies right now are using procedurally generated stuff. That's AI.
It's all, but to make the complex stuff, you need power. You need a lot of power to run these AIs. Like, once again,
clean, beautiful coal.
we're watching a couple things all grow on the side, and they're going to eventually start coming together, right? Because once again, you need to be able to transfer data very quickly. And if you're thinking about doing cloud, it has to be done very quickly and efficiently, and it has to work if you want to do cloud. Once again, we've had the story multiple times. They're working on that file transfer, this other program they're working on, which transfers large amounts of data really quickly. Like if that's what they're working on, and you have AI over here on the right, and you put those two things together, right? You're going to have AAA games probably once a year.
Well, more than that,
right? Well,
once it's going,
you can't flood the market. You can't keep flooding the market. You don't have enough time. Right? Yeah, you can make a Mass Effect every 6 months, but is your market there going to buy it? Yeah, you got to space it out a little bit.
Yeah, I understand that. Kingard says the Turing test is an AI that can replicate behavior well enough to be indistinguishable from human. If a person can't tell if they're working with a machine or another person, it passes the test.
Okay, but fair point though, Kingard. Fair point, right? If we're dealing with intelligent people. But the monkeys we have running the show now, if they can't tell it's an AI or not, doesn't mean it's the AI is winning. It means that the humans are not as smart anymore, right? If you put the best people, the smartest person on that test, and then they can't figure out it's AI, then I agree with you. The AI passes the Turing test. But Joe, who works a meth lab, if he's taking the test, he doesn't know who he's talking to. He thinks everybody's real. He thinks the girl he's getting $50 a week to is real, and it's some dude in his garage who has an AI girlfriend. Like this is what we're talking about.
All right. The next story, Sarge, that we're going to talk about after AI is we're going to talk about Nintendo. Crazy Uncle Nintendo. Woohoo. Hold on. I got it. We got it. Hold on. It might be loud. Let's see.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
All right, so Crazy Uncle Nintendo. So let's bring this up. Can't afford a Nintendo Switch 2? Buy a Switch 1, Nintendo says. Now, what did I say on this show last week, Sarge? And you asked me, you're like, why do you think they want you to buy an old Nintendo Switch? Because they're so close to beating PlayStation.
Yeah, they want the number one.
They're so close to PlayStation. They're like, hey, let's make the problem and sell the solution. The problem is this console is too expensive. Well, we have this Nintendo Switch over here for you. Play that until we have enough games over here, and then you can afford this one afterwards, right?
They don't care, bro. You guys were screaming about this all week. All week you guys have been talking about Nintendo. They don't care.
No, they
Nintendo doesn't care. Whatever they sell it for, regardless of whatever excuse you think, there's a certain percentage of people who are diehard Nintendo people are going to buy the goddamn thing, right? And the ones who don't are going to buy a Switch. They don't care.
This is welcome back, John. Thanks for being 30 NSG Junior for what was it, 10 days?
But I like Johnny. Is Johnny D, right? It was Johnny D.
I don't know. I think it was just John.
Yeah.
I think it was just John.
No, it was Johnny
it says, so can't afford a Nintendo Switch 2? Buy a Switch 1, Nintendo says. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders are opening up on various regions, not you, United States or Canada. Okay, meaning that likely millions of people are set to make $450 purchase plus, or $450 plus purchase on the new console. Unfortunately, however, there's plenty of others that won't be able to afford the Nintendo Switch 2. In a recent interview with CBC, which took place prior to the console pre-orders being delayed in the United States, Nintendo, American President Doug Bowser was also asked about the console's price and what players who can't afford what they should do. This is very Xbox back in the day when the Xbox One was out.
Think how callous you are, where your answer for the corpo answer is
that's how Xbox was.
Just buy the Switch 1.
Yeah. So it says, quote, as we look at Nintendo Switch 2 and we think about the features set that I talked about, we believe that the pricing is appropriate for the value of the machine and the gameplay experience overall, Bowser said. He continues by saying, we recognize that there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2 price point, and this is why we wanted to make the other Switch platform available, so people still have an opportunity to come into the game or universe and be a part of these characters in this world. We see the value, and we will, and if you will, we whatever rung the platform that they come in, right? And I said this earlier today, Sarge. I think it's funny because for the last 5 years, people have been giving shit to Microsoft because they had two systems. They came out with the S, the lower tier system.
At the same time.
Right. And then the X, which is the higher grade system, right? So there was two price points for people just to come into the ecosystem of their other stuff. And people are like, stupid move, stupid move, stupid move.
I remember.
Here we are 5 years later. PlayStation 5 had their main system, and now they have the higher tier system with the PlayStation 5 Pro. Two different systems, one lower price point, one higher price point.
Separated by 5 years.
Right. And now the Switch, right? Now the Switch comes out, and they have the Switch, and they have the Switch 2. Not much difference, but it's like a Pro. It's like the Switch Pro, okay?
But it's not.
Right. Okay. And now they have a higher one, and they have a lower one across the board because obviously Nintendo wants that. They want that mantle, man, right? There's honor amongst them over there in Japan.
Oh, of course.
PlayStation's been the king of the leader for the last 25 years over there for the PlayStation, okay? Nintendo got close with the 3DS or the DS, I think it is, okay? And now the Switch is right there, okay? This will push it over. This will push it over because the $450, $500 is out of the price range for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that still haven't even bought a Switch, and there's 155 million people that own one, okay? So now they even marketed when they showed the Switch 2, they're like, you could still play with people on the Switch 1. You could share games with the Switch 1, right? There's a cheaper product coming out where maybe dad or mom buys the Switch 2 and they give the Switch 1 to the kids now, you know what I mean? Where they're playing that and they don't have to worry about it. Stuff like that. So I think it's funny because a lot of the stuff that's happening with the Switch 2 on top of this, Sarge, it's not better. They told me earlier today, I was like, the battery life is worse.
I'm waiting for the tech guys to get their hands on one and just go put it through the motions. All right, not tech tips.
Digital Foundry.
Digital Foundry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like when they get a hang, they do the whole stats for all the nerds. They do all the stats, resolution, speed, battery life. They do it. That's what I'm waiting for. Right. I don't care what Nintendo says or doesn't say. That'll be the test for me.
Well, they came in this morning. I think it was First 48 Gaming came in this morning. It was saying that the battery life is worse. I was like, where does that say it? Because I didn't see an article. They showed me the article, and it's 100% true. And I said, well, are they comparing it to the Switch 1 at release, or are they comparing it to Switch 1 at the end of the 7-year cycle because it's much better battery life in the Switch 2, right? No, they're comparing it to Switch 2 launch day to Switch 1 launch day, and it's worse battery than the original launch of the Switch. And I'm like, how the fuck? And look, Nintendo's got no shame, dude. They're like, yeah, let's make it worse battery and still charge $100 extra than the last system that was 7 years ago. Okay?
Because they perceive the value in their own system.
Yeah, because they upgraded the screen compared to that, but not from the OLED that they did later in the
larger
life cycle.
Screen, but not
larger
a higher definition screen,
more pixels and stuff for that particular screen, but it's still lower than the OLED that was later in the cycle for Switch 2 or Switch 1, right?
Well, because they want to sell an upgraded version of a Switch 2 3 years later or 4 years later.
At least 2 years later, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think I said this today on the stream. I think what they'll do is once that OLED comes out, they'll put that at the 450, 500 mark, and they'll take the Switch 2 original and they'll shove that down to 400. You know what I mean? They'll shove it down $50.
It just seems like in this point alone, this is when you know that all the game guys are together in the same room. This is not Nintendo going off script. This is Nintendo following along with everybody else to push the prices over. That's what this is, right? Because everybody said, well, Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo does. They're going to have their games at their prices. And they're like, nope. Now they push the price over the edge. And so now all the prices have to be like this, right? That's how this works.
So this is another thing that they're doing. Okay.
Switch 2 however, we'll see how many people actually buy at that price point.
I think there'll be quite a bit. I think there'll be a couple million. Okay. And then it'll fall off a cliff because those people won't afford it. So you're going to get the diehards to buy it. You're going to get the fanboys to buy it. You're going to get those people to buy it. And I think you have at least 3 to 4 million people that are going to buy it day one.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Which is a lot. Okay. Which is a lot. So Switch 2
$90 for games is a lot, bro.
Yeah. Here it says Switch 2 is not aimed at people who want higher performance hardware, but yet they gave a high-end performance hardware, right? So it's a little strange. It says Nintendo never considered making Switch 2 a piece of high-performance hardware aimed at consumers who wanted more powerful tech. Okay, they said that the Nintendo representative said that the Switch 2. What's that?
Corpo speak, bro.
Yeah.
Corpo
so the team toyed with the idea of calling it Super Nintendo Switch, which I think would have been good, color scheme and everything. But in addition to the Nintendo already having the system with Super as a descriptor, Super Nintendo, the team didn't want people to focus on the console specific. So it says Switch 2 is a new system with improved performance, but they liked players who get their hands on it, but not to focus on the specs, right? But rather to think that it's the latest system developed by Nintendo. So it's hoped that becomes the new standard for Nintendo Switch. He named Nintendo Switch 2. So from the beginning, the developer wanted the Switch 2 to be a system that can also be enjoyed by a wide variety of players. He also wanted to create an experience where also many players as possible could enjoy, rather than an experience they made specifically for those with preferred higher performance hardware. But it is higher performance hardware, and that's why they're charging an extra $100.
But this is why it's corpo speak, right? Why else are you buying a new system if you don't want the better tech?
Just because it says new. You know, they did a study like that. When you go to the supermarket, if it says new on it, like 60% more of people buy things because it just says new. Same old, new. It could say new wrapper, new box, new packaging. Doesn't matter. They didn't change anything of the actual product, just the box, and people will buy it because it says new.
We're just done as a society, bro. Like when I look at products, besides the fact of looking at my first rule is if the ingredients are are wider than my thumb, I don't buy it. Right. The ingredients have to be they can fit underneath my thumb. If it goes beyond that, I don't buy it. After that, I go by weight. How much is the product and how much does it weigh? And I look and I divide it up in my head. It's how much per pound or how much per ounces.
Here, Krebsy says, I personally think the price of the console isn't the problem. I think it's the game price that's questionable. I think it's either or, both. I mean, so what I mean by this is if the console was cheaper, the games could stay where they are. If the games were cheaper and the console was the same as it is, people would still buy it. More people would buy it because if they think they're getting a deal with the console, they wouldn't care about the higher priced games. Or you give it stay the console the same and then lower the price of the game, and then it would fly off the shelves just as much.
Bro, $80 is a lot for a fucking video game.
I know this.
Like, just in general, it's a lot of money for a fucking video game.
What is the price of? See, I don't even know because I don't really buy Nintendo games. Nintendo Switch games right now. What's the standard price? Is it 60 or 70?
Well, they never go on sale. Just pick a store
No, I
and
know.
look at it. They're never on sale. Box stores sell them on sale because they offset the cost, but otherwise Nintendo never puts them on sale.
Hogwarts
thought it was-
is 60.
I thought it was $59.99 for Switch 1 games.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's $60. $60. So they've gone up $20 on their first party titles. Digital, $20.
Whatever.
John says 70. Dupla says 60. John says 60 to 70. When I'm looking up here, Mario Brothership was 60. Mario Kart Deluxe 8 was 60. It looks like their first party title games were $60, and they don't go on sale ever. They never go on sale. Okay.
Let's put it this way: if the price point of the Switch 2 is in the same realm as the other handhelds for the Windows model or the Steam Deck, right? If those games are the same, if those systems are in the same price bracket, we're going to see if people actually buy a Switch or just go out and buy a different handheld.
I'm sorry. Say again. I missed the last part you just said.
I would think that if the price of the Switch 2 is at the same level as like what the other handhelds are selling for currently, like a Steam Deck or
Right.
then I would think that people would seriously decide whether or not they want Nintendo games or can have access to an entire library of Steam games with the same price handheld. You're going to see.
Well, I think the value is there more because of all the games that you can get over there compared to the games that you can get on the
on
Switch.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Right.
Even with the third party games on the Nintendo. See,
the
this is why
number's not that
Nintendo
big.
Switch
The number's
2
not that big.
Right. This is why Nintendo Switch 2 is really pushing third party games as well, because they know they can't ask for that price if it's just first party title games. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct. Well, it's the same 7 games.
Right. It's the same Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Sonic, right?
Luigi,
Metroid,
Kirby.
Yeah.
It's the same game.
It's the 7 to 10 characters that they have, Smash Brothers, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's got to
So,
be. Right?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised that for not talking about tariffs, I would not be surprised if during this year they say that that the Steam Decks and whatever other handhelds sales go up. Because some people will actually sit down and just look at it and like, do I get a Nintendo or do I get this? And what are my options if I buy this or that? What are my options?
I don't want Nintendo to fail, but
Nintendo fails all the time. They're allowed to gamble.
Yeah, GameCube.
They throw a
GameCube, Wii U.
giant chunk of money on the table and they let it ride.
Yeah.
Right?
So what I'm saying though is Switch 2 is going to come out and it's going to sell well in the beginning. Like I said, I think it's going to fall off the cliff. So it's almost going to hear like what you hear about Veilguard or Assassin's Creed. They're going to be like, oh, it's selling super well, right? They're going to be reports flying off the shelf, hot cakes, whatever it is, right?
Find it.
Yeah, can't find it. Well, Nintendo always does that all the time, right? The Nintendo always does the short of the sale, so it makes it seem like it's more in demand.
Scarcity, the fake scarcity. Yeah.
High demand, whatever for it. All right, they do this all the time. So that's going to happen. You're going to get the 2 million sales, the 3 million. They'll scream it from the hilltops, but then they'll go quiet because then the sales will drop because the people that were going to buy it, we're going to buy it.
We're always going to buy it.
We're going to buy it anyway, right? And then it's going to settle in. And then you're going to see the people not buying the games at full price at $80, right? You're not going to see people buying the console because it's too expensive. They might lower the price after maybe 8 months, 10 months down the line. They might lower the price because they're going to hit a saturation point of their fanboys. And that's just what's going to happen. At least that's what I think is going to happen.
Well, there's that point in the sales that'll dictate whether or not people are not going to buy it or they're going to wait for it to be on sale. If you look back at like the release date or the release weekend or release month of like the Switch, you see what the sales are. It's almost like looking at a movie release, but like in a longer term. Instead of basing it off of weeks and months, you're basing Nintendo off the year, right?
Right. It's going to do this like a YouTube video, and then all of a sudden it's going to flatten out and stay like this for a long time, and then slowly go up as more games come out, more first party title games come out,
or you have a reason,
games.
or you
right.
have a
more
reason for me to
buy
get
the
it.
Game. Yeah, more reasons to buy the stuff.
I still think the Steam Decks and the rest will get a sales boost because of it.
Yeah. Hero says, "I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it so I play my games better. To be honest, that's fine. No one. Let me make it clear here. I'm not making fun of anybody that's going to buy it. Right? The buyers are going to buy. That's what they were always going to do, right? You're always going to have that core audience that's going to buy the brand new things.
Nintendo has a big chunk of people that are just buy whatever.
If it's people that are the keeping up with the Joneses, that want to get the latest, greatest technology, if it's people that get anything that's new that's coming out, people that are diehard Nintendo fans, no matter what Nintendo gives, they're going to buy. Same with Sony, same with Microsoft. There's that core fan base that's always going to buy the stuff. But then what happens afterwards? That's the thing.
But it's all the other costs. It's not just the system itself. It's the online thing and the add on this and the add on that. The added costs to what it takes to actually play at the Switch 2. That's the big difference. You're looking at you're going to look upwards of $600 or $700 when all is said and done.
Yeah, that's in our state. In other places like Australia, South America,
$800,
right? $900.
That seems a bit crazy for a handheld Nintendo.
Yeah. And where other games, other things that are going to come out, right? When Switch 1 came out, there was no other handhelds in the market.
That's correct.
And now there's a shit ton of handhelds coming to the market or already in the market.
Right, which still makes me question why Microsoft wants to release a handheld. You spend all this time deliberating how you're going to do a different way, different market, because you're losing the market share for consoles, but then you want to jump into the pool with 5 other consoles that are handheld. I don't get it.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. But we're going to find out. This summer is going to be a big awakening for dates and like hardware and what's going on. Like I want to see what's going to happen. Right? Because I think Nintendo has enough money to where they're okay with an initial loss up front. They want to see if people understand what they're doing and those people can be actually into their system of online. That's what they want, right?
Nintendo hasn't sold for a loss in 7 years. They've made every time they sell a Switch, they're still making money off of that, and they're making bank off the software itself. So
right, because they don't undercut their hardware as bad as Microsoft.
Right, they've been profitable with their hardware since the beginning of the Switch 1. Right. So are they willing to lose on the Switch 2 to keep their goodwill that they've had all this time? I don't know.
I don't think they care.
I said it last week. I think they do lower the price at some point to $350,
well,
$400.
It's not. It's here. Well, here's the thing. It's not that they're going to reduce the price. It's
the market's going to let them.
The box stores will take a loss on something else in order to. Will adjust prices to lower the cost of a Switch 2 for the box stores because they know people can't afford them otherwise. So the box stores will lower the price.
Well, Nintendo can also lose the price because they're making $50 off of the, as Travis is saying, the cuck button, which is the C button on the controller, right? They're giving that away for free for 10 months to get people, comfortable with that.
They want them in the ecosystem.
Correct.
But they've never been good online.
That's $50 a year.
They've never been good online.
If they were smart, they would eat the cost of that, lower the price of the console by $50. They would fly off the shelves. They don't care. They want to maximize profit for the price point that they want. Listen, think of it this way. I know what you're saying, right? But if box stores buy 100 units from Nintendo at that price point, okay, maybe they get a 10% discount because they buy in bulk, whatever. But the point is Nintendo has no reason to lower the price when they can sell it for that number, and they don't have to lower the price. The box store is going to pay full price for it. Right, and that's why I suggested retail price.
And then the box store might lower the price in order to entice consumers to come into the box store. Right. But Nintendo already made full price on the hardware. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They don't have to lower the price.
Upgrade, buy an HDMI cable or something.
Yeah, they don't have to lower the price.
Yeah.
They do this shit all the time, right? The issue will be when there's no more hardware that you can buy through a middleman with a discount rate for the consumer. When it becomes just online streaming and everybody's selling a Netflix account, then you're talking about, well, what are you giving me? Right? Look, I don't want to live in the dystopian future where everything's a reoccurring.
The magic price point is $350, $400 for any device, right? Hence why the MetaQuest 2 sold well, but it sold better when they lowered the price. MetaQuest 3 sold better because they lowered the price. They hit that magic marker of $400, right?
Yeah, but they sold all the ones that they wanted to sell at the higher price.
Correct, but they
then
when
they see a plateau, then they
dropped the price and then they started flying off the shelves, as everyone always says.
Yeah, I get it.
That's where the electronics need to be. Well, we'll see what happens. obviously I didn't pick up my Switch 1 until 2.5 years after it came out, so I'm not picking up a Switch 2. I said this earlier. All the people, go buy $700 Switch. Go buy this expensive Switch. Test it out for us, please. Let us know how the cuck button works and how the 4K and the 120 and all the other stuff and the Joy-Cons. Test it out. Pay the big prices, and then they'll lower the price once the saturation hits.
I'm still waiting for a game for my Xbox Series X. Still waiting.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
All right. Another thing I was talking about, Sarge, over the past couple times, I said that Call of Duty is losing its identity. Okay? Losing its identity. Now, this is claimed. Okay? Activision is aware that bizarre skins are making Call of Duty look stupid. It's claimed. Okay. Activision has been hell-bent on jamming as many crossovers into Call of Duty universe possible these days. We've seen some bizarre topics surface, leading insane
Fortnite, bro. Because they're trying to copy
in-game events
Fortnite.
and laughable skins that also have players craving something a little bit more grounded. In recent claim from prolific Call of Duty insider, it was suggested that Activision is acutely aware of the feedback from the wider community suggesting that the Call of Duty is becoming a laughing stock because of these weird skins and irrelevant crossovers. That's what I said. When they started putting it in, I was like, I don't want to be killed by a sloth or Nicki Minaj while I'm playing a game of military.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care.
It says in a post.
It's Fortnite, bro. It's just like Fortnite, right? Fortnite, you can get all kinds of skins, right? So they want Call of Duty to be like Fortnite so the kids will play it, right? Like, that's what we're talking about.
It says in the post, social media, the Ghost Hope gave feedback about the performance of Warzone and how Verdansk, I can't pronounce that. Verdansk, thank you, has boosted the game player count on all platforms. He also turned and talked about the future of Warzone, suggesting that Activision teams are proposing taking more restrained approaches to skins and bundles in the game. They're talking about showing more restraint with Warzone for skin bundles and microtransactions crossover, are printing money. But they also hear criticism of the game is starting to look stupid. Gone over the days when people ran around Call of Duty dressed exclusively, on outfits, and the rise of free-to-play battle royale platform meant that microtransactions had to ramped up, thus leaving us with countless crossovers and collaborations with musicians, television shows, movies, and other games. They might be printing money, but perhaps the diehard Call of Duty fans are growing tired of the numbers, the neon lit over-the-top, improved outfits in the game. Look, you can make the quick cash, right? Perfect example.
That's what they want. They're the top 3 games of selling in the whole goddamn country, bro. They don't
perfect
care.
Example. Yeah, but
Greg Taylor has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Call of Duty Warzone is the top 3 games that make the most money in the year. What?
Correct.
Who
no, but
gives
listen
a
to me.
shit about
right?
the skins?
Star Wars came out. Disney did this with Star Wars. They came out. They jangled the nostalgic characters in front of you, made episodes 7, 8, 9. They made $2 billion. Then they made $1.5 billion. Then they made $1.2 billion. Right? They got those movies out. They made $1 billion, but the franchise itself, Star Wars, is completely and utterly damaged because of what they did, the way they did it, and how they did it. Right? Activision, in the same type of format, took a game that was a military shooter, and now wedged Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, a sloth, a fox, a monkey glove, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all these things, and now does it hurt the brand? Does it hurt Call of Duty going forward? Yes, they're making money short term.
The kids love it.
But does this ruin the franchise moving forward, or they don't care?
Nope. The older people are moving on. If they don't want to play, that's fine. There's a whole other group of kids that are always around. There's another group of kids every 8 months. There's another group of teenagers who are playing Call of Duty.
True, because they're leaving Fortnite. They're getting older. They're stopping Fortnite and they're moving into Call of Duty.
It's got nothing to do with you or me anymore. We're the senior citizens of gaming. These kids will come in and play this game all day long. All day long. Right? As a matter of fact, if they want to be part of the solution, instead of making Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how many action heroes that are involved in war movies have there been over the years? You could put those guys in the game. I'm sure someone will buy a skin of Rambo or Terminator or
I think
Chuck
they've already
Norris,
done that. I think they've done stuff like
Chuck
that.
Norris or Patton or any other military hero that you could put in the game. They would pick him. So at least I'm getting killed by at least somebody in the military, right?
Do you think the kids know who Patton is?
It doesn't matter. They don't care. As long as it's someone who looks
They
cool,
don't
Patton
fucking
could be
know
all
who
buffed
Patton
out. Like
is.
Patton could be some roided dude with a big ass helmet on. They don't
Yeah, but
care.
they don't know who Patton is. You're like, these kids are.
They
They
don't
don't know who Patton
care.
is. They're not going to buy him.
They don't care, bro. They don't care.
Chuck Norris runs around punching people in the face. He just Chuck Norris's them. I don't know, man. I think they might not care, but I think they are doing brand damage. I think
Yeah, El Dente, totally. They would do that too. That would be hilarious.
El Dente says, "Fuck it." Add the presidents.
Right.
Obama,
Imagine
Trump, Biden.
imagine they all say a couple one-liners that from with their voice. Hilarious, right? That one comedian guy, I can't remember his name. It's not Will Sasso. It's the other guy, Joe something, that does the impersonation of Macho Man. He does it perfectly, right? If you had Macho Man in the full military gear running around, and that dude is doing the voiceover for Macho Man as he's running around shooting up people, hilarious. Hilarious.
I agree with you. I just think they could have made a separate game and done this. Instead, they took a brand that was the large. Now, obviously, Rome was going to burn down sometime. Call of Duty is never always going to be on the top. It's going to slowly.
They are going to collect every penny as
Absolutely
Rome is burning. It doesn't matter.
Look, more and more people though are leaving Call of Duty because of what it is, like the diehards, right? So they milked you dry.
Are they leaving really, bro?
They are.
Are
There's
they really leaving?
There is a downturn in people playing Call of Duty, but you could say it's because of the skins, but you could also say it's because of the other free-to-play shooters. You could say it's because of there's so many games.
1,000 games a month.
There's so many things you could say
1,000 games
too.
a month. Yes.
It doesn't have to be a correlation with the skins. It could be that one, maybe the group of people that were playing are now in their mid-20s and 30s. Now they're trying to get jobs and going into the real world, and they're playing less time of video games. Maybe they can't afford the video games. Maybe they can't. Maybe their friends are not playing as long. Maybe there's games that they want to play other than Call of Duty. Do you know what I mean? There's hundreds of different ways that you could look at this. I don't know if it's just the skins, but I do believe, my personal opinion is, they are losing the identity of what Call of Duty is.
Well, Call of Duty's identity is making it a cash cow and mission accomplished.
Well, Call of Duty now is Fortnite for adults. That's the way I look at it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, Fortnite for adults.
Right? It's almost clown show at this point. You might as well have Bob Barker and some game show hosts running around.
Come on now.
Right? Like the Whammy from Press Your Luck running around shooting you up. Like it's whatever now. Right, because that's what it is. How do you get people to go from Fortnite to the military sim if you don't put the cool skins in there? And this is how they do it, right? You'll just go on over, right? And what I find hilarious is one of the articles I think you read. Well, I don't know if it was for Me Tonight or a couple days ago. You said that BR's.
That's the next one I was going to bring up.
Yeah, the BR's attention is going down. Like no one cares about BRs, and I'm like, oh, again, they're going to release again. Battlefield's going to release a game with a BR in it, just in time for everybody to ignore it again because no one cares about BR again. Like, hilarious.
I'm trying to find where that one is, though. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so the next one is gamers are reportedly losing interest in Battle Royale games. Okay, which I do think is funny because Battlefield is coming out and they're putting a Battle Royale game in. They could be 0 for 3 for Battle Royales in their game.
What I find annoying is the developers think that a Battle Royale is a perceived value inside of a video game.
Right.
Like you putting it in the game to them means it's more valuable. Our game's got more value because we got a BR in it. And like half of us, like, we don't give a shit about your BR. Do you have a video game in here besides that?
Right.
Like, is there a video game in here? Or is BR like...
So here's what it says, right? It says the Battle Royale genre has seen its playtime shrink from 19% to 12% in 2024. Okay.
Right.
Fortnite shares of Battle Royale playtime grows.
They have the percentage of hours played for every fucking thing you do. And then going to tell me that they don't know something. We don't know. It's alleged. It's alleged that people are playing less Call of Duty. Meanwhile, you got my hours, everybody's hours on a tabloid sheet. You guys know everything.
Right. It says Fortnite's share of Battle Royale playtime grows to 77%, and the role-playing game genre sees growth with titles like Baldur's Gate 3 becoming classics. Okay. What article was that, Krebsy? Because I don't think I saw it. Maybe I missed it in the... I'm
going to give Activision one prop.
Let me look it up.
Props, right? I thought the commercial for the bringing back of Verdansk, the actual commercial that they played with the song in the background, right?
Oh, I see it.
I thought that was priceless. I thought that was perfect marketing for a stupid map. That was perfect marketing. I give them props for that. because everyone's gonna like relive Verdansk like back in the day.
Is this is the article, right, Krebsy? Console gaming revenue fell in 2024 thanks to premium. No, that's a different one. That's not it. That's a different one. Let me find this. Let's see. They got price hike. Repost it to me. I can't. Oh, here it is. I got it. Warzone player count off the charts. Okay.
Because Verdansk is all about the member berries. I get it, man.
Okay. Warzone player count is off the charts as exceeds expectations, right? So one article says that they people don't like the weirdness that's going on in Call of Duty, but the Verdansk is bringing everyone back, right? So it says it's been claimed by Activision seeing positive results in Call of Duty Warzone since the grand return. The map has also certainly added something special to the game since dropping mere days ago, and many fans are critically aware of that makes also break circumstances of the map's reintroduction. According to prominent Call of Duty leaker, Activision raved software excited about the good Warzone player count. It's also popping off as so much as led the uplift of Black Ops 6 sales. What they wanted, it says Activision and Raven Studios are excited about the numbers they've seen with the players returning to playing Warzone after the launch. So they're just excited with that quick hit. They're like drug addicts, you know what I mean? They're like they got this little bump in the thing. They're like, oh, we're so excited, we got to do the thing. Right? How do we keep that number? Let's do the next. Do the next one. So it says Xbox Game Pass PS Store numbers are off the charts compared to what they were. Right? I want to know. I want to actually see the chart though. Like, what is the off the chart to where they were? They have also seen an uplift of Black Ops 6 sales and downloads because of the update.
Sure, because everyone wants to remember playing Verdansk.
Yeah, nostalgia berries. Yeah, nostalgia berries. So I don't know. I think I think it's hilarious though. I mean, look, they're still the top 6 games. Fortnite,
top
Call
3.
of Duty. Yeah. Yeah, well, Call of Duty and Fortnite are 1 and 2.
Call of Duty's top of the charts, bro.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Right,
so,
but really they're not the top of the charts, because the top of the charts is Candy Crush and like Monopoly Go and like those kind of things. Those are the top.
My son plays Fortnite every day. He's been playing Fortnite every day for the last like 4 months. Okay, so he's new. He's the new candidate in the Fortnite thing.
That's correct.
Let's see here. What time is it? 9:30. All right, let's talk about this. Let's get this out. I want to talk about this before we run out of time. All right, so PC gaming gained more players than console in 2024, Sarge. Okay.
Surprise.
Yet people keep telling me, no, consoles are more than PC. More consoles are selling. That's what they tell me, Sarge. That's what they tell me. Even though the professionals actually said they stopped selling consoles in 2008 was the mature point.
Yeah, but it's not.
Right.
It's not hard to realize that when you get older and you have money, and you realize what games you're playing and paying for, and then they come out on PC, that you would just go out and buy a PC. It's the better way to experience it because you know it is, because you can afford it now. Like a console, the timeline of a console was different than what a PC timeline was, because a console was a way to get games that you couldn't play in your house, right? That's what it was. A console meant that developers could make games that, remember, at first were copies of the arcade games, because then you could play the arcade games in your house. Remember, those were the games, the fighting games, the driving games, the shooting games. Like they would do their version of the game, like Operation Wolf and the Terminator 2 Destructo game with the Uzi. Like you put those games in your console because you could play them at home now, right? Like,
right.
And then the games got better and the graphics got better. And then people decided to go off their own, make it their own games. But that was what the console was supposed to do. But now the console is getting to the point now where the console is a PC. It just is. It's just a lower cost PC. It's the same parts. So when you're older and have money, you're like, well, if I'm buying a PC anyway, shouldn't I get the PC that I can afford, the best one I can get?
Right.
Yeah. Right. And now, of course, sales go lower, because if you're telling me I can play my games anywhere, then I don't specifically need to buy a console, right? I have a tablet. I got a phone. I got a refrigerator. And Jay told me last night, the toilet, you can play Xbox games on the toilet. I thought that was awesome.
Look, the way I compare it is like when you first get your first car. For most people, when you first get your first car when you're like 16, it's a beat 'em up, right? It's a beat up piece of shit car for most people. maybe the windows don't roll down or the windshield wipers don't work. That's a console, right? It runs, it gets you from point A to point B. You have fun in the car.
Yeah, but you didn't think of it as a
No,
beat 'em up.
No,
You're
you don't.
describing it that, but you didn't. When you're looking
Correct.
at that,
When
a
you're
console's good
driving
to
it,
you.
it's the best thing in the world, right? But it's got problems, right? When you get older and you actually make money and pay the bills and all the other stuff, you're like, I'm not going to drive a beat up shit anymore. I want a better car.
Right. So I'm gonna buy
Right.
a
I want to
PC.
be able to have power windows. I want to be able to customize my stereo. Right. I want to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff now because now I have money. And that's so people look at it and go, consoles. Well, it's more convenient. It is. It's the iPhone of gaming. Right. You don't have to worry about updates and not. But they are, like you said, Sarge. They're getting closer and closer to becoming PCs because they are PCs. There's the same parts in there. They just make it more convenient for you, easy for people to turn it on, play the game. Don't worry about drivers. But there's drivers updates. There's updates all the time on your consoles. But people don't want to acknowledge that because they work in the background, right? So let's read this. PC gaming gained more players than console in 2024. PC gaming outgrew console gaming when it comes to total number of players. In 2025, PC and console report from Newzoo Global's data indicates that more players started playing games on PC than they did on console. According to the report, PC player numbers rose 3.9% year over year, and from 873.5 million to 907.5 million. I want to say that number out loud again, just so people understand. Okay, 873.5 million people on PC playing games. Went up to 907.5 million playing games. Let's add up. Let me see where the greater than, less than symbol goes.
Well, now wait a minute. Now that just means they bought a PC. Now that they're
That's
playing
fine,
games
Sarge.
on it,
Right?
There's
one point.
the naysayers are starting to type right now.
Right?
They're not gamers. They're just bought a
Greater
PC.
than, less than. Okay, 907.5 million people. Okay, are playing something on a PC, and yet Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, add them all together, okay, you get a whopping 305 million, which is 500 to 600 million less, okay, on console. Greater than, less than. It's very simple, okay? So it says the console players grew. On the other hand, still up only grew 2.3% from 615 million to 629 million. Now, that's all consoles. That's including the Xbox Ones, right? Xbox Ones, PlayStation 4s, Switches, Xbox, right? All these systems.
And doubled because a lot of guys own two systems. You're doubled.
Correct. There's crossover across that as well, right? Yes. Okay. Looking for the future, Newzoo projects the players' growth will steadily continue to rise in 2025 and through 2027. It's projected that the PC numbers will increase to around 930.1 million this year, while the console players will jump to 653.1 million. Okay. By the end of 2027, suggests that the PC and console player numbers will be around 971, almost a billion players, and 698 million respectively.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means 1 in 5 people on the planet have a PC.
Right.
When you're at a billion people, it's a 1 in 5.
Okay. Despite PC players growing at a higher rate, there are also being more of them. Console revenue is slightly ahead of PC. That's because they charge more for the games and accessories and everything else. Because when you look at it, Steam is only getting price for the software. They're not getting the hardware and the accessories into all that, right? Like when you buy a game from an Epic Game Store, they're not putting mouses and keyboards and stuff into that. But yet when you look at a console, all of that software, hardware, all goes into the console numbers. Okay. So 37.3 billion with a total of 80.2 billion for the year, and that was a bit less than 81.9 billion in revenue in 2023. Still expected that the gaming revenue in general will grow in 2025 to 85.2 billion. Can we just say that's fucking insane? And you can see how greedy these companies are, by the way. Okay, 85.2 billion. They make money in all entertainment categories combined in just video games. Just in video games.
But that's why they don't care. When you reach a certain point, you can gamble. You can gamble on trying to make more money here and there because your recurring revenue from besides Game Pass, the microtransactions is absurd. Krebs just said almost 60% of the revenue comes from microtransactions, bro.
Yeah, well,
when
you're into that.
When you're on that kind of level, you have enough room to gamble. You don't have to put anything on sale. Fuck them. You could just sell whatever you want to sell. Right? You have to say no. You have to not buy something for them to change their habit. Otherwise, they're not going to change their habit. It's just the way it is.
So here's the next one. 58% of PC gaming revenue came from microtransactions in 2024. 58% came from microtransactions.
Yeah, two-thirds. Two-thirds of
PC
revenue comes from the
PC
microtransactions,
gamers-
not the actual game.
PC gamers seem to have no problem spending extra in their games, according to 2025 PC console gaming report from Newzoo. 58% of all PC gamer revenue came from microtransactions in 2024. The 58%, or $24.4 billion, represents a slight 1.4 year-over-year of growth in that area. Per to the report, right?
But what they don't tell you is 10% of that is just Star Citizen.
Right?
Three
10%,
games. 10% of the 58% is just Star Citizen by itself.
Three games led the way with growth of microtransaction revenue. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which just said that people were not playing the game anymore, right? Roblox and Fortnite. Okay, those are the three top games. It wasn't just microtransactions that rose in revenue last year either. DLC revenue also saw a slight jump of 0.8%, which is $5.3 billion on PC. That accounted for 14% of all revenue, thanks to DLC for Diablo 4, Elden Ring, and World of Warcraft. Now, I just want you to look at the numbers again. And what games they say there? 14% of all revenue, thanks to DLC from Diablo 4, Elden Ring, and World of Warcraft. 2 of the 3 games, Sarge, are owned by Microsoft. Okay? Yeah. And everyone's like, Microsoft is dead. They're dead. They're not going to make it. They made $5.3 billion. They have the largest percentage of the $5.3 billion just on DLCs, right? And the 3 top games, or 2 of the games, are from Microsoft. Okay? So it says where revenue fell off year over year, the PC gaming was so with premium games, while also made up 28% of all revenue on the platform. $10.7 billion was still a 2.6 drop from a year ago. A total PC gaming revenue rose ever so slightly to 0.1% to $37.3 billion, just a small percentage of $37.3 billion.
PC gaming revenue $37.3 billion.
Right, it's up just a little bit. 0.1%, right? When looking back 2 years in 2022, PC gaming revenue has risen 5.4% after a dip from 2021 to 2022. Looking forward, they project a rise to $37.9 billion for 2025. And for PC specific revenue, they hit $40 billion by 2027. Okay. But please keep telling me that console is going to outperform, right? Because as people keep getting older, they're going to go buy they're going to go buy a PC. Okay. And since Microsoft themselves has pulled themselves out of the console war, that's one less company making consoles specifically where they're only selling consoles, right? They're selling consoles, but that's not their main category, right? That's one category in a slew.
They're selling devices.
Yeah, they're selling software for multiple devices, right? They don't care because they see where the money's going. They see where the industry's going. They see where the market's going. Hence why Sony's like, hold on, wait for us. We're putting our games on PC. Because if PC wasn't becoming the dominant thing that it is, Sony would stay on the console as it is. They wouldn't move any of their games over to PC. They know what they're doing, right? They know, the market knows where they're going. You know what the day we'll see? When Nintendo decides to put a game on the PC. When you see a first-party title, Mario, Zelda, get a launch date for PC, that's when the industry goes, oh shit, right? Because then you know if Nintendo's putting it on PC, then we have issues because that's where the industry's going, right? Kuda Papa says, for the $2 super chat, says also try to tell me that Elden Ring is a bad game. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's the number one. It was top 3 DLCs, part of the $5.3 billion. Just split that 3 ways. Just split that 3 ways between the 3 companies, right? Three games, $5.3 billion. Was that $1.25 billion a piece?
That's a lot of DLC. But then again, you would actually have to make DLC to brag about DLC sales going up, right?
Right.
If nobody's making DLCs, it's only live service games, and you don't have a DLC.
Yeah. Look, I don't say PC is more than console because I'm just making up shit. Like, there's more people that have a PC. There's 1.92 billion devices, PCs out there. Almost 1 billion of those are playing video games.
Where they're
Right.
playing something.
And we're not even talking about mobile devices anymore, right? Because Microsoft has their hand in Candy Crush, which is the #1 selling game behind Monopoly, or #2 selling game behind Monopoly.
What I find funny is nobody really takes those games seriously, but they make more money than anything.
Right.
Like Candy Crush and Clash of Clans and Monopoly Go and whatever else is out. I don't keep track of them all, but I know that their revenue dwarves anything that the gaming market for console has.
Eclipse says, and I think it's happening. Why do you think the Joy-Cons work like mouse or mice? They also know that the PC brings the money. Yeah, I would say they're trying something. But Crazy Uncle Nintendo tries a lot of different things, right? And the people that said they mess with the mouse, the functionality, they said it works really well. So,
well, how hard can it be, Mike? There's no balls anymore. It's just the infrared light.
yeah, it's just the infrared light. Yeah.
So, what are we talking about?
They said that the inner part is like a steel or whatever, like a metal. Because I wonder if when you're scraping it and moving it on different surfaces, they say it works on your jeans and legs and stuff. But I wonder if that's going to wear and tear down on the buttons up there.
No, I don't think it's got anything to do with that. First of all, there's magnets inside the Joy-Con.
But the buttons that they put up on top there are actually metal as well now. To give it more of a
because you're pressing them 4,000 times a minute. Yeah, it has to be a little bit more hard, a little bit more.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is, putting it on the thing and the different surfaces and scraping it across the thing. I mean, I don't know.
No. You're thinking of it. That button sticks up above the controller, but not above the actual.
No. That
not
new
above
button
the actual,
is the new button is metal and it's flush with the thing. So when you turn it down like this and you look, I'll bring it up.
I don't think it's flush. I think it's a little recessed. I don't think it's flush. That's why they can use it as a mouse. You don't have to worry about it getting caught on stuff.
Here, Nintendo Switch, new Joy-Cons.
I think it was a little bit more recessed from the edge of the controller.
It sticks out here. This is. All right. Where is it? Okay, you see? This is the metal button, but you see this piece sticks up a little bit higher.
Yeah, but it's still recessed.
That's the lock button. That pushes in anyway when you push it. Yeah, it's a little recessed, I guess, but it's going to scrape up against something. Like there's an indentation there, but it still sticks out.
Let's be honest. When you're at a couch, you're on a couch. You're not be scraping against anything. You're on a couch, floor, your jeans.
I guess.
What I'm talking about is if that was actually on a table. If I was using a Switch Joy-Con, it's recessed. You're not touching the button to the actual table.
All right.
Yeah. I'm just thankful they actually have the heavy duty magnets in there, so the actual controller sticks.
Yeah, this is a metal button now. This is a metal button now.
Well, that's why it's $450, bro.
And it's bigger. Because the other ones are smaller and plastic.
Crab claw? Yeah, crab claws? Yeah.
I'm also worried about this connector piece here. Like on the Switch part, like it sticks out and you like slide it in. It just clicks in. But I don't know, man. You keep it out and some kid bends that you're fucked.
Bends
right?
What
the part, not this part, the part that's on the Switch itself.
Oh, but you have it docked when you have it out like that, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have the thing on. What I'm saying is if you have it separated, that pin is exposed. I just feel like someone's gonna fuck that up. That's gonna be the part that gets it replaced a lot or whatnot.
No, that's easy. Nintendo will just sell a little cap piece that goes on there to keep it safe.
That's
for
true.
$39.95.
That's true.
Each side, $39.95 for each side. Yeah, it should be a strong.
John, I got it, John. They had an attachment to give a mouse feet. Oh, did they? Type in Switch 2 mouse mode. Okay, hold on.
Dude, when Nintendo goes all out on their nonsense, they go all out, bro. Just crazy shit. You got a camera and this thing and a microphone. Sounds like you're in a dungeon.
Oh, yeah, they do. They have like a whole. Yeah, it makes it even more. More
PC-ish.
No, yeah.
Does it make it more PC-ish?
So what they do, they sell a piece that connects to that. So you don't scrape this part. It goes inside this.
Yeah. How much is that piece? And how much is that piece? How much is that piece?
I don't know. I don't think it says it here.
Ridiculous, dude. Dude, the console is not. First of all, let's be honest. The console is not 450 or 500. The console's at least seven.
I
almost
I didn't know they had that
with
piece.
all the stuff that they want you to buy. It's $1,000 console. It's $1,000 console, bro.
Did you know the camera that they sell? Okay, they sell the camera for $50. The regular camera, but the camera they sell with the Piranha plant that's in the Piranha plant is 4 megapixel. 4 megapixel. They haven't made 4 megapixel on a camera in like 20 years.
But they had some leftovers.
Like my flip phone that I used to have had a 4 megapixel camera in it.
They have some leftovers for 4 megapixel. They just stuck it on a Piranha plant, man. What's wrong with you?
It's $10 less than the normal camera. For $40 Piranha plant, 4 megapixel, 1080p, $10 more. Make the problem, sell the solution.
It's so much upfront cost for all the little things you want to get for the system. It's $1,000, bro. Think about it. I'm not going to do it right now. We got some other stuff to talk about, but I want to add up all the things that you probably would get if you got the Switch, right? The little mouse pizza.
Yeah.
It's $1,000. Easy.
It's ridiculous.
So handheld $1,000 or Steam Deck? Huh?
I mean, Steam Deck.
Huh?
Steam Deck.
But it's Nintendo, bro.
Yeah. Hold on, let me close some of these stories that we already went over here.
Right, John. $40 each. Each Joy-Con, $40 each.
Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, Sarge, is Chicken Jockey. Okay, the thing that's happening right now is going absolutely insane.
Just look, I'll be the resident old guy in the room, but leave those kids alone, man. Leave them alone. Let them have some fun. The only one I thought was questionable is when I saw the live chicken.
Well, someone brought a live chicken.
Someone brought a live chicken to the movie theater. That's got to be in the Midwest. It's got to be in the Midwest, bro.
Someone threw a canned soda through the movie screen, so ripped the movie screen.
Well, that's ridiculous.
There's been people that are throwing soda everywhere. Okay. Now, look, I like fun.
Don't throw
soda. I like fun. Don't fucking throw soda.
Don't throw soda.
Okay.
Throw
You're
popcorn.
A complete utter asshole. Okay. I said this earlier in my morning stream. Okay. This is a phenomenon that they're so clueless. The suits are so clueless, Sarge. They don't understand what's happening right now. They actually think they made a great movie. They're like, we made the greatest movie. It's making so much money. It's because of Happy Meals, right? That's what they said. They thought because the advertisement they did with Happy Meals, right? They think because the writing is really good, right? Hollywood is so out of touch. They have no idea what's happening. Okay.
They don't even
Jack
know
Black.
They don't know it's a me movie. They don't know.
Jack Black. Okay, so I watched behind the scenes of how they made the movie, and they said that Jack Black was ad-libbing all the time. So there's a compilation of every line that he says in the movie, and it's all over-exaggerated. It's like flint and steel, right? Like he's like talking like he's like chicken jockey, like all of this the lava chicken, whatever the fuck it is that he sings, right? All that stuff. To 11. That's what Jack Black does.
Because he's crazy.
That's correct. Okay. He does this. Okay. And people saw this and they're like, oh, this is just too funny. Like, and because one person filmed it in TikTok because he did that, and people started screaming and someone's like, oh, that seems like fun. So then they went to the theater and they did the same thing. You can see it because now everyone in the theater's got their fucking phones up right at that point. At that point when he says...
Well, that, and they've bought streamers and
streamers,
confetti,
silly string,
like they're all ready,
giant bags of popcorn, like it's insane. Okay, now there's a point that you look at this and say it's organic, right? It started off organic and now it's this thing. Okay, look, let me show you something. This is not normal for a movie. We're not in the summertime right now. People are still in school. Okay, we're still in school. The Minecraft movie during the normal business week this week, okay, they've first they made almost $60 million on the opening day, okay, 57 million. Then they made 59 million on Saturday. Then they made 46 on Sunday. On a Monday, they almost broke 10 million. Okay, on a Tuesday they broke 12 million, almost 13 million.
But that's because that's when the shit started. right? The Tuesday,
right?
The Tuesday when the chicken jockey started, right? That's when it
Oh
started.
no, Chicken Jockey started on Saturday.
You sure? Because
Yes.
that looks like a strong Tuesday for no reason.
Right? And then Wednesday, today or yesterday, 7, almost 8 million. Okay.
But Tuesday that's an anomaly, bro. Tuesday looks like a flash mob. Like they all planned on going on Tuesday.
You're gonna find out real quick because the movie theaters are so clueless. They didn't know how to get. They just had a conference last week, Sarge. How do we get people back in the theater? Okay.
Have fun.
And then just 2 days later, after the conference, Minecraft comes out and this phenomenon of Chicken Jockey emerges. Okay.
It's just a meme,
it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show for this generation right now. Okay.
No,
People are singing.
Is it?
No, no.
You really think it's a Rocky Horror Picture Show?
It's
phenomenon.
Yes,
phenomenon?
there's people dancing in the fucking halls. Okay, there's jumping up and down. They're on people's backs. They're doing speeches. They're doing speeches before the movie starts up at the front of the theater.
Who's doing speeches?
The kids. They're like, "This is our time." There's like Braveheart. Yeah, it's.
No, the kids aren't doing speeches, bro.
I
Come
swear
on.
to God to you.
Maybe the movie theater manager's doing a speech.
No, kids from the audience standing up, going. He's got a diamond pickaxe in his hand or a sword, and he's like, "This is our time. We, the players, we've waited such a long time for this." And it's not one guy doing a speech. There's multiple people doing speeches. Okay,
some of this stuff up.
It makes no sense. But
I'm gonna call shenanigans. I'm looking some of this stuff up.
I'm look it up. I'm not going to bring it up. Just look it up. Okay.
Look it up.
So just 2 days later, the conference is like, how do we get more people in the theaters? We can't make sales. Let's make more popcorn buckets, right? They don't know how to get people in the seats, and now they're there, and they're like, you guys need to settle down. You guys can't have fun. They're posting signs on the thing saying if you clap, cheer, make noise, we're gonna kick you out. It's like, I came to watch a movie. Now I totally get if you're coming there and you have a family and there's a bunch of teenagers around you and they're making loud noises and you're just antisocial and you just want to stay home.
Watching Minecraft,
right? The reason I've said this in the past, the reason I like going to the movies is that experience that you can get. Okay. Now, this also works in other movies. If it's a sad movie and you're in the theater, it's emotional. People in the theater, like you feel it. You feel it. It's down. Like if you go watch Schindler's List or Saving Private Ryan, that shit hits you, right? You start crying or tearing up. Other people, you feel that emotion. That's why you go to the theater, right? That Captain America moment in Endgame where he's like, bah, captures that thing, and everyone's like, yeah, they start screaming. That is a moment, right?
Yeah.
They don't happen all the time, but when they do happen, you got to push, man. You want people to come back and see this movie a second, a third time. I said this in my morning stream, Sarge. If I was a theater owner right now, I would advertise right now, Minecraft event Sunday, because there's a contract. There's a contract open where they have to keep certain theaters in. Extend your hours, okay? Open up all the theaters and just show Minecraft. Saturday night, 10 o'clock, last showing. Everyone come up. All the theaters are Minecraft. Sell silly string, popcorn bags, large buckets, whatever you want. Have people come and dress up in Minecraft outfits. Get in the fucking theater. You throw soda, you're banned for life. Throw everything else that's dry goods, okay? And have a fucking blast, okay? You destroy property, your ass is gone. But if you want to have fun, scream, cheer, clap, whatever you want to do, I would lean into what's happening right now, because this is a flash mob. This is here for today, gone tomorrow. If you miss it, it's gone, and you're never going to get it back again. All right? That's what you need to do. Okay? That's what you need to do. Chicken Jockey orgy party. Settle down. Okay? But that's what you have to do as a theater owner. You want people to come into your theater, and then now what people are looking at, the suits at these theaters, they're looking at, or the suits at the movie companies, they're like, well, how do we replicate this? Now they're thinking of how to make the stupidest movie possible and make one-liners. So now you're going to get no writers whatsoever. You're just going to get people going, Chicken Jockey again. and then people are going to, and they'll be like, why didn't it work this time? Because
you can't capture the lightning in the bottle. That's why.
That's right. They're trying to catch the lightning in the bottle.
The build up for Avengers Endgame was 10 years in the making. The build up for this was the kids have been playing Minecraft for like 10 years, right? And they got their
Yeah.
movie. And they got their movie. Like it's a buildup. It's not just a replica thing that you can just carbon copy.
We as adults, I can sort of see it because I've been playing it since it came out, but I was in my 30s when it came out. Okay. As adults, you miss Neverland. You see what I'm saying? Like Peter Pan, that story of Neverland, they're having imagination and fun. When you're an adult, that's ripped from you, man. Right? When you start paying bills and car payments and all this other shit, that joy is ripped out of you, and you have very little moments of that.
Which is why you have a kid.
That's why you have a kid. You live vicariously through them to recapture it. Okay, the kids. Every news report I've seen, I've watched so many news reports. They're like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I've never played Minecraft. I don't understand what it is. Like, nobody understands because they're old fuddy-duddies and they don't play video games, first off. They don't understand the culture because it's nerd culture, okay? And they don't understand that. They don't understand comic books. They don't understand fucking films. They don't understand movies. They don't understand cartoons. They don't understand any of this shit, okay? So when these kids are excited about going to the movie, and if a lot of them I've noticed, most of the people that are causing the havoc are middle schoolers and young, like early, like high schoolers. Okay, because one, they might not be taught how to fucking act in front of society
because they're all pent up, bro. Nobody has anything to be happy about. Everybody's pent up. You realize that the culture in general has ebbs and flows, and everybody's fucking all balled up, man.
Yeah, even the last 5 years though, the kids that went through COVID, okay, and had. Like, there's still kids that don't even know how to act in school because they were sheltered, they homeschooled for like 2-3 years. Okay, then they go back into regular schools and they're like, "What's going on? Well, there's people talking to me." Right now, there's like a social event happening at these movies, and they're like, "You need to calm down, get off my lawn, don't do anything, don't touch anything, don't cheer, don't clap." It's like, bro, they thought a good thing was texting in the movie theater. Right, this is what the conference talked about. Right, not about making good movies or fun movies. They talked about, what about if we let people text in the theater? What about if we let people smoke weed in the theater? Right?
No.
The fuck you talking about? They're like, what about if we put shittier seats in the theater because we could charge more? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? Like, they're completely and utterly lost.
How about you just make some good movies?
Just make a good movie. Let people have fun. It's so ridiculous. It really is. It's so ridiculous.
I watched. But anyway, the compilation. My three favorite ones is the one where someone throws a chicken, and he catches it midair. Right? Someone actually threw a live chicken, and the dude caught it midair. That's number one. Number two is a dude that jumped over the railing completely. Like, there was a railing in the theater, and Chicken Jockey comes on, and he jumped over the railing and disappeared. And the third one is the guy riding his
He's doing a chicken jockey.
He's doing a chicken jockey. And he's dancing in the theater. So
I made a song.
Laughing.
I'm not going to play it here.
Dying.
I made a song. It's over on 30 and Still Jamming. Go check it out. Okay, I posted it in the Discord in the announcement, or in general, I think, or announcement. It's called Chicken Jockey. It's a song. It's an anthem, taking all the compilations of all that stuff. And I threw it in there. Okay, so go check that out. It's just a fun little thing I did. I posted on Twitter. Megan's that real doll.
Oh,
movie.
the sequel. She's getting a sequel.
Yeah. Right. So Nate says, already smoked in the theater. They're late by 10 years.
I mean, we used to smoke before we went.
Yeah, it's just funny. All right. So that's the Chicken Jockey, right? It's a phenomenon. This weekend, we're going to see if it does the numbers, if it does 57, 59, 45 million again this weekend.
But the meme stuff quits quickly, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But if it hits that again this weekend, I'm going to be right. I'm going to be right at the 1.1 billion.
Well, where are we right now? Because I said 5.
It's at 300.
I said 500 million.
It's at 343 right now.
Yeah.
It's almost at 344.
All right, so it'll definitely pass 500 then.
That's 5 days, 6 days. 6 days.
All right.
So this time next week, they could be around 650, 700 million.
Will they keep it in theaters longer, though, is the question.
Well, it was funny because I saw an ad that you can pre-order the DVD, like box
because
set.
I want to see The Accountant 2 in the theater, and I don't want to get blasted by Chicken Jockey.
Yeah, well, You might want to wait then, right?
I want to see the accountant though. I want to see it in the theater.
So I actually had a video I did about a month or two ago about Sonic when Sonic was in the theater. Sonic ended up around 473 million, something like that. It would have done better, but Disney crushed it because Disney was in the big theaters. So Sonic wasn't in the bigger theaters longer, so more people couldn't watch it because they were like capped out of what they could do.
Yep.
That's what's happening to Minecraft right now. So because of Snow White in the theater, Snow White is bombing, okay? But Snow White's in the big theaters still because it's under contract with Disney.
Of course it is.
So Minecraft can't be in the big theaters for a lot of the places. It has to stay in the smaller theaters. So it makes less money because there's less seats, right?
Yep.
So what's happening now is they're being withheld. They only have 4,289 theaters, okay, where a Disney flick will have like 4,600 theaters. They're in like 400 to 500 more theaters on top of that.
But it doesn't matter. They've already bombed.
No, I understand that, but it matters. It matters for the other movies because they can't get into the bigger theaters, right? So you're limited to like 100 seats or whatever it is, 75 seats. Like you're in the small theaters.
But are they packing? Are they packing the theater for Minecraft? Are they packing it?
Minecraft has been with those numbers. Those numbers are packed, right? Here, actually, let me go check. Let me go check Fandango right now. What a time would look like. I don't know, tomorrow. Let me see. Fandango, Minecraft.
I'm just happy the kids have something to focus on that's positive, even though it's a little nutty. It doesn't matter.
What's today? We'll go to the 11th tomorrow. Let me go.
I don't think you needed to say that, Jay. We're okay here. We can just talk. You don't got to put disclaimers.
Yeah, okay. So perfect example. This is the size theaters. This is the size theaters that Minecraft's in. Look at this. This is one of the smaller theaters.
Right? This is 20 seats?
This is 3D, right? This is a small theater around me.
It's like 20 people, bro. What theater is that?
That's the small 3D theater by me. Okay, the movie theater.
20 people in a theater?
This is what I'm telling you. They're in the small theaters because Disney's taking the big theaters. And no one's in the big theaters. So the movie theater has empty big theaters and they can't give it to any other movie.
Yeah, that Disney contract shit's bullshit.
Hold on, let me get the normal standard 6:30. Let me see what's happening tomorrow night at 6:30, close by me. And
that looked like the joke movie from back in the day where the movie theater was in a closet with 3 people in it.
This is the bigger theater, right? So this is cute. They're doing the little creepers.
Why are they doing creepers? Empty seats?
Little creepers inside there, right?
Are the creepers empty seats?
No, those are the full seats. These are empty seats. Yeah. So this is tomorrow at 6:30 right now by me.
The Minecraft.
Right. I have a small theater by me. I can look up another theater and see if let me see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in and out though. You think the kids are going to go watch it multiple times? That's the question. Will the kids go watch it multiple times?
If they let them have fun, yes. If they're not letting them have fun, no. You might see a massive drop off because the fun police showed up.
Right.
Right? It might just drop off the fucking cliff this weekend.
I think it's hilarious that they called the cops. Like they had cops come to the theater to quiet down the crowd. You guys couldn't quiet down riots for 4 years. You guys are gonna come into a theater and quiet down the kids for a Minecraft movie. It was hilarious to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the top stories that we had. All right, we're gonna move over to Q&A.
Which side? Which side, Jay?
If you guys have any questions,
I can't even call that a theater, bro. It was like somebody's living room.
That's a 3D theater. That's a 3D theater.
It's in somebody's garage.
That was actually in my backyard. It was in my backyard. Yeah.
Like, here's a theater. What are you showing me? It looks like a broken crossword, bro. There's not even room to write letters. Like, how many chairs in the theater?
Folding chairs. Sense. That's a good idea, Sarge. Empty theater, no seats. You have to bring your own chair for a discounted price. It's like going into a field. You just take a chair and you put it in the.
Everyone just brings their own chair into the theater?
Their own chair. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. People sit on the floor. People just bring a chair.
Nobody's sitting on the floor. Some people.
That's how you get people back in the theater, Sarge.
No, you stuck to the floor. No.
If you guys have a question, put a Q in front of it. We'll take a couple of questions, and then that'll be in the end of the show.
Commando's origin on Game Pass and co-op works. Oh, come on, co-op. First of all, Commandos used to be a great game. That was a great game from back in the day.
Oh, that's the one that's like XCOM, right? That's on Game Pass now, Gaming Fire.
It's not exactly like XCOM. It's more of a.
Did I show what sign? What sign do you want me to show, Jay
It's
Breezy?
more of an open world turn-based strategy game where you have to use the right guys to do the things on the map. Like certain guys have certain skills. Like one guy can disarm alarms. One guy is this demolition expert, and you're trying not to kill anybody. You're trying not to let any of your guys die because you won't be able to complete the mission if a certain guy dies. So, in the old days, was a lot of reloading. Like you'd play for like 3 hours. If you forget to save and you made a mistake, like you'd have to reload for 3 hours. I was constantly saving during those kind of games.
Is it in general? Let me see.
Everything I'll turn. Your question is answered already. They'll sell everything to you. As far as I can tell, $1,000 system. It's $1,000 system.
Yeah, I'll read the sign. The sign says a Minecraft movie, any form of any antisocial behavior, especially anything that may disturb other guests, such as loud screaming, clapping, and shouting, will not be tolerated. Okay, anyone who is found to be acting in this manner will be removed from the screening and not entitled to a refund. Fun Police. There you go.
100% Fun Police.
Fucking done. They're going to kill the movie theater. They're going to kill the movies because they're like, we want people in our theater. People are coming to the theater like, we want people out of here. It's like, what?
Makes no sense, dude. They can't just roll with the punch. They're trying to control the situation completely.
Overcorrection.
You can't control that kind of stuff.
I'm telling you, man, give me a theater. Let me run a theater. It'll be the hottest theater. Not because I'm not running the air conditioning, but because I would actually work with people, right? I would have fun in the theater, okay? Because if you show respect...
You come dressed 10% off.
Right.
Dress up for the movie.
Something. Get people in the fucking place, right? Right? If you tell people, look, if you respect them and say, look, we're having this event, just don't throw your sodas. Don't throw your sodas. Sell them a thermos. You can only drink in the theater if you buy this lockable thermos. That's $30 to buy. You get a large soda. It locks in. It can't spill. You can throw it, but it doesn't spill.
Like
right?
The Minecraft soda.
It's like a sippy cup or something, right?
It's a Stanley cup. It's a Stanley cup unlocked. They can't throw it.
Yeah, you can't. To get refills, you got to come back to the thing, and I have to give you a refill, right?
There's a key. You got to unlock it.
It doesn't spill. There's no spill. You can't throw it at something.
The adult sippy cup.
Yeah, you have. Someone said earlier, put plastic on all the seats. I was like, yeah, but what about the floor?
It's just they
hazmat suits. You rent out hazmat suits for the thing. You rent headphones out like this to block out the noise when people screaming. Right? Get into it, man. Like
they use leaf blowers now, bro.
Yeah. Creeper headset. Right?
I've watched videos of guys cleaning up the theaters after like a big movie, and they're using like leaf blowers. They just blow everything down the bottom,
and then they just sweep it up at the end.
Yeah, they roll out a giant plastic thing, and then they push everything down. They just wrap it up like a burrito. And they just throw it in the trash. Like they don't even put it in a trash can, bro.
Yeah, it's like vacuum that shit up. But that's why I say have it at the last showing of the night. You're past the contracts. Okay, so you could show it in the big theater because it's only from open to close. But if it's a special event,
special event, I got you. Now you can use the big theater. I got you.
If it's a special event, you can put it in all the theaters and do all the stuff, right? I'm telling you, man, you gotta lean into the skid. You can't. This weekend, we'll see if it's dead. This weekend, it's over. The hype is over.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
because the Fun Police already came out, right? You couldn't even just let it happen. Sell more tickets. Nope.
Chat, Krebsy's asking for you to ask a question. I don't know why you guys are scared to ask questions. If you're here listening in the background, or you just hear my voice, come back to the keyboard, pick up your phone, pick me up, and just type a question in. Help Krebsy out so he doesn't have to ask 15 questions like he has.
You don't have to ask 15 questions.
No. All right, we're gonna shut this down as far as the question portion. If you have questions, you can throw them in there, but we're going to bring up the question thing. It's time for Q&A with Sarge. Chicken Jockey.
It's just
All right.
it's such a meme event though.
I think it's funny. I do. I think it's a fun thing. My son's running around the house the last 4 days. Chicken Jockey. First question. Altern says, what other accessories would Nintendo sell for the Switch 2? $40 cords, $30 screen protector, another $40 3-megapixel camera. Yeah, I mean, it's endless.
It's $1,000 system.
Yeah,
with all the accessories that you would buy normally. Not the ridiculous ones, but like a normal accessory that you would want for this. It's $1,000 system.
Let's see if you buy all Nintendo Switch 2 accessories, let's see. Do they have something like that? How to buy a Switch altogether, anytime, anywhere? Nintendo Switch 2. No, I don't think that someone has made a thing yet. Can you buy all the? Wait, no, not can you buy? Why did it say that?
I'm just doing the math in my head, bro. It's like $350 worth of accessories. It's $1,000 system. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Between the mouse things, the case, the cord, the charging thing, it's $1,000. It's $1,000.
Top Switch 2 accessories. Okay, here we go.
Jay Breezy found something.
Did he find something?
I don't know. He found something. He's screaming. Then he said almost.
Is my guess? I found it 30 almost. Is it almost $1,100? Did you put in Discord? I just found the accessory page.
Man, it's a
What is this that
PC.
you
Bro.
posted?
It's a PC, bro. I don't know.
Minecraft fans wanting a screening. We're clapping, cheering, and shouting. I'm Steve is absolutely encouraged. Join our Chicken Jockey 4DX screening of Minecraft on April 13th. That's it, baby. You got to lean into the fucking skid. Let people come in, have fun, but don't go full creeper. No throwing, no mess, and no filming the screening. Just don't throw shit and wreck the place because that's a criminal offense, right? But clap, cheer, have fun. Yes, Cineworld. There you go, Cineworld. That's what you should do. Okay,
full creeper is weird.
Right.
The janitor just standing at the front of the theater and he's just rubbing.
All right, so this is what we got, Sarge. This is all the accessories. We got the $79 Pro controller.
Yeah, just one of them, right? Yep.
That's just the Pro controller.
Yep.
Then we have $89 Joy-Cons.
Yep. Well,
Okay,
no, that's replacements. You wouldn't be buying them immediately. Those replacements.
Well, whatever. If yours break, you got to buy a $90 controller.
I'm talking about accessories that you would buy when you buy the system.
Joy-Con 2 charging grip is $34.99.
Possible.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd buy that.
You got the leashes so you don't throw your controller.
So you don't throw your controller.
That's $13. You got the steering wheels. That's $20.
Yeah.
Okay. You got the other stuff. You got a $49 camera. Okay.
Besides the plants.
Got to get the camera to use that cuck button. You got to use that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is a replacement just in case you don't want to disconnect it from one television to the next. You got to buy another $109 docking station, right? Because you got a carrying case, $34.99.
Absolute.
Okay, another carrying case, an all-inclusive carrying case, just in case. It's either $34 or $80, one of the two.
Yep.
Okay. Then you got the charging adapter. That's $30. Okay.
Does it not come with a charging adapter?
I have no idea. So that's what it looks like.
I mean, don't forget the $10 to learn the instruction.
$10 to learn the instruction manual for your game.
Yep.
Yeah, we got that.
It's $900 some dollars, bro. It's like $875, almost $900 for all this stuff.
Alexander Smith said, "Did you say cuck button?" I did.
It's on the controller.
It says it. It's a C button. Is that what it stands for? Yeah, it's the cuck button.
Well, in Japanese, C might mean something different, but for us, it's cock.
Well, it could mean chat, camera, or cuck. I'm going to go with cuck.
It's not a tech demo, Altern. It's the instruction manual on how to use your Switch 2. That's an instruction manual, but it's digital.
Yep.
$10.
All right. So there's that. All right. The next question. Comes from Krebs. He says, any predictions on when the Fortnite movie might release? We all know it's eventually coming. Oh, yeah. And
Summer.
you're going to have to get the bus driver. The bus driver has to be Jack Black. Okay? The bus driver's got to be Jack Black. And before you jump out of the bus, he's going to look at the camera and say, gotta go, or something. He's going to say something stupid, and you're going to have to thank the bus driver. Okay? Yeah. So Fortnite's coming. I would say 2 years Fortnite movie comes out. Live action. It's got to be live action.
Well, because they're gonna have to make it like they're gonna try to chase the Minecraft moment.
Yeah, and you have to have Jack Black in it, Keanu Reeves. You have to have Chris Pratt as some voice of something, right? Because he's in everything.
Yep.
Gotta have a stupid song, right? You're gonna have to have a lot of celebrities come in because there's just a bunch of different.
Will the Fortnite movie just be some celebrities playing characters in the game, but they're actually playing in real life?
Probably, yeah. There's a writer strike going on, and the writer strike's going on, and they're playing video games in their downtime, and then they all live inside the world of Fortnite.
Himself, Krebsy, himself.
He's just playing Jack Black.
No, Pedro. Pedro
Pascal. He's definitely in it. Yeah, he's playing Pedro. That's what he's playing.
He's playing himself.
Fucking swear to God. All right, next question. Did I? Yeah. Okay. Krebsy says, "Can I get your reaction to IGN's What's Your Game of the Year 2025 so far? We can check back on it this later in the year." Oh, that's the thing you want to be. Yeah, I saw that, and you told me not to read it, so
we didn't look at it at all. Krebsy.
I didn't look at it.
We didn't look at it at all.
Let me bring that up. Let me bring it up.
I'm gonna be surprised. Is this something we're supposed to read or watch? What is it?
Where is that? That is. Don't look at this. Okay, best results. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is. I don't know what this is. You wanted me to bring this up, so it says, "What's your game of the year so far?" Okay, community results. Shut up.
No shot, bro.
Shut up.
No.
Assassin's Creed is the winner right now. At
No
69% it
shot.
won of Game of the Year. Get the fuck out of here.
Lying
Get
sacks
out of
shit,
here.
bro. Lying sacks of shit.
Okay, so is this it? This is the winner so far? That's the winner? Did they go back and check on it?
No
Assassin's
fucking way,
Creed. Kingdom Come Deliverance is number 2. Split Fiction is number 3.
So just
Monster
move
Hunter
everything.
Wilds is.
Just move everything up one slot. Get
Look,
Assassin's Creed out of there and move it up one
Assassin's Creed in this poll is the chicken jockey joke right here.
Yeah.
This is just funny, and that's why they voted for it up to the front. That's it.
slot. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Come on. 17. What does this mean? Duels 17,937. How is this the winner when this one has 32,000? I'm confused. What does this duels mean?
Don't look at numbers, bro. Numbers don't mean anything to them.
What are we talking about?
Some of those games are decent.
South of Midnight's number 11. This is not real. This is not real.
Are these numbers made up completely?
I don't know what this is.
A Marvel Alliance, Alexander. Marvel Alliance.
It's not even. That's not even a thing. It's not even Ultimate Alliance 4.
Looking forward to be honest.
Ultimate Alliance 4. If they ever come out with it, yeah, sure.
Ultimate Alliance. Yeah.
Okay, so Krebsy with the troll question there. Altern says so between Avowed.
Hit the play the face button. What's play the face off? What's hit the play the face off?
Play face off. Is that what you want me to do? Let me go back to it. All right, hold on. Let me go back to it. Okay, this thing up here. Play face off. Okay, let's face off. Begin. Okay, pick a winner. This one.
Sleeper. Yeah.
Okay.
This is why it's winning.
This one.
It's doing this kind of shit. I see what it's doing.
Well, who's it putting it up against? Oh, okay.
It does this, and then it compares, and that's the one that's up right.
Yeah, but that's rigged. That's rigged.
Yeah, I know how an algorithm works. I don't understand how that works.
Because they could put Assassin's Creed right. Fuck Adamfall. Fuck you, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Yeah, Xenoblade. Yeah.
How are you gonna put Monster Hunter up against the museum game?
But that's how But that's
Look,
how
look, look,
Assassin's
look,
Creed
okay.
moves up.
I'll go
But
with
that's
this one.
how it moves up. That's how it moves up.
We'll go with that one. No, sorry, South of Midnight.
Yeah.
Split Fiction.
Yeah.
I didn't play Dynasty Warriors. I know it's. I'll pick Dynasty Warriors. No, I don't care. Assassin's
Look,
Creed.
look at the one. Look at the one it's up against. That's how.
I'm never picking Assassin's Creed. I'm just letting you know. I'm not picking Assassin's Creed.
That's why it moves up. That's why it keeps moving up.
Yeah, but it only won 17,000 duels, but yet it's number one. How does that work?
Because numbers don't mean anything to them. That's why.
I'm gonna get to the 42 here, and we'll see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
do
monster.
that one.
Yeah, monster.
Okay. I have no idea what these two. I'll do that one. We'll give it to that one again.
It's doing an algorithm of who fights who and who wins.
That one. We'll do that one. We're gonna get to the 42. Ooh, that's a good one, but I'm gonna go with Split Fiction. We'll go with Wander Shop again. We'll go with that.
Ooh,
I'll go with
that's
Monster
a tough one. Yep.
I'll go with this one.
Yep.
We'll go with that one. We'll go with that one. Oh, it's like a bracket edition. I see what's happening
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's narrowing them down.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
Split Fiction.
right, it puts it up against the worst game possible, so it moves up. I know how this works.
We'll do that one.
That's how this works. We know.
It's Split Fiction. Split Fiction. Okay, so great. So now look at the how. Tell me this, right? Okay, so 6 wins, 8 wins, 2 losses, right? You look at all this stuff. Great. Yours community. We go back to the community. How the fuck is this number one when it has so many less wins for duels?
Well, that's because it's very simple. It has less duels, but the duels that it had, it always won. That's why. They don't put it against as many games. That's how that ends up that way. It's double. It's almost double. It's almost double the duels. That's why. It's all planned, bro. They planned it. Look at it. The numbers are telling you what they did right there. It was in half as many duels, but the duels that it was in,
it won.
It won because it put it up against the game that you weren't going to pick anyway.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Fucking joke. You can't listen. You're not allowed.
What about foam stars?
You're not allowed to actually vote about anything for real. Otherwise, people would actually see what people are like. That's how that works.
All right, next one.
He even says it on the screen. It's half as many picks. Get the fuck out of here.
So between Avowed, South of Midnight, and Adamfall, rank it from 1 to 3. Which is better?
Adam, Avowed,
I'm gonna do
South of Midnight.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Adamfall, Avowed, South of Midnight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yep.
Next one is thoughts on the dire wolf being brought back, and what if any other animal would you like to see be brought back?
We are not God, bro. I don't like.
I
think it's cool, but I don't back it, man. It's fucking wrong, bro.
I mean,
there are reasons. By the way, we weren't around. There are reasons why species go out of existence all the time. It's not our job to decide, hey, you know what? Let's bring back this.
I would like to see the woolly mammoth come back. Why not?
Well, they can actually do that because they found one frozen in ice. They can just get the DNA from that one and just straight up make one. You know that, right?
Yeah, I saw that, right? So I would like to see the woolly mammoth because they were huge, like much bigger than the regular elephants.
We're so ignorant. It's so fucking dumb, dude.
Next one.
They think because we can do something that we should every time, right? You spend this much money, this much time bringing back a dead animal, but we can't figure out what causes cancer in kids. And so instead of figuring out how to solve that problem, we've got to make a wish foundation. That's sad as fuck, bro. I don't give a shit about the dire wolf. I care about kids finding out the reason why kids have cancer. That's my rationale. Fuck your dire wolves.
Krebsy says, do you think Ubisoft should be saying players should get comfortable with not owning their games and instead acquiring a limited license to play them, give their current situation? I think it's stupid that they said it originally in the first place. I know there was news stories we didn't get to. I think they should get comfortable with less people buying their games. That's what I think they should get comfortable with. Not only we should get comfortable with not owning our games, they should be comfortable with people not buying their games. Not buying their games, not playing their games. Where's those Assassin's Creed numbers after the first 2 weeks? Haven't heard a goddamn thing about how many players are playing Assassin's Creed. Find that interesting, don't you? Right? Up, first day, second day, first week. Where's Assassin's Creed's numbers now? They haven't said shit about nothing. So they should get used to people not owning their games, not buying their games, not playing their games. That's what they should get used to. Krebsy says, how do you think the companies will weaponize the tariff situation? Because earlier you said Nintendo could lower price, but the tariff situation gives them an easy win to raise prices. Well, the market will bear what the market bears, right? Like we said earlier in the show, people will buy the Switch 2, regardless of what the price is. If it's $500, if it's $600, if it's $700, if they have to lower the price. In the long run, they will hurt themselves keeping the price where it is. Hence why they said they want people to go buy the Switch 1. Okay? If they keep the price where it is, less people will buy their product. That's just the way it is. You're going to get the core audience. So I think the tariffs in general, they can be weaponized only if everybody else does it, right? So, for instance, if Nintendo keeps their prices where they are, and then Sony says, well, we're putting our prices there as well, and then Xbox puts their prices there as well, and then they force everyone to have the same prices, then people will be like, okay, well, I guess we have to do this. But as a consumer, if you keep your wallet closed, you'll be amazed how fast gas prices go down when someone has $5 gas and no one buys gas at that gas station. They go across the street. You'll see how fast prices of the video games go down when people don't buy the video games. It's very simple. All right? Very simple. You want to answer that, Sarge, in any way, shape, or form, or no?
My issue is this. It's a Switch. It comes from Japan, not China. Now, if the pieces come from China, then they go to Japan, then you would have to see the tariffs between China and Japan. Now, if China and Japan don't really charge each other tariffs, then you're just making excuses how to pass the cost off to somebody else. Because remember, it's a Nintendo-made product. Nintendo's in Japan, not in China.
Yep.
And so we don't have tariffs against Japan. We have tariffs against China. So now, if you do the tracing, right, if you want to use the tariff as an example to raise prices, you could, but someone smart is going to figure out where the taxes are added up to. That's all. I mean, everybody can use the excuse of why you raise the price for something, but you guys seem completely complacent on buying games that are $20 more with no additional benefit. You just want to pay the extra $20 more. And we all know. And benefit. Listen, if you add up the $25 to $30 difference between $60 and $80, $90, not to mention the fact that you don't make the boxes, the discs, or the instruction manuals anymore, which is an additional $30. Right. So basically your game has doubled in price and you're okay with it. So if you're looking for tariffs to be blamed, guys are dreaming. Like you doubled the price of the game is doubled already. So the tariffs got nothing
there's
to do
no physical product. They're making digital product.
There's no product.
And they're charging $80.
Right. And by the way, there is no tariff on digital products.
Yep.
Right. The product has to be shipped and end up there. There's no laws for digital product. So no tariffs on the digital product. There's the tariff on the Nintendo itself, maybe, or the physical hardware, but not on the game. So it's just pure profit.
Next question is, Krebsy says, so what are these class specializations on Battlefield Pro that got data mined? And the next, I didn't look at it, so I don't have an answer for you. I didn't even look at the story.
Krebsy, more specialists? Are you being serious?
Yeah, I didn't look at this, so I can't answer that question.
I gotta look it up. I thought they stopped that shit. They said they were gonna go back to normal classes. So I'll go look. I'll have to go take a look.
Altern says, which Nintendo game do you think would be the next $80 to $90 game? It's gotta be the next Zelda. No, Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers. Maybe another. I mean, it's gotta be the next Mario game, right? Mario Worlds or whatever they come out with next. So I'm going to say the next Mario, the next Zelda game is definitely $80, $90 game. What's your pick, Sarge?
It's a Mario World.
Yeah,
it's
like
it's
single player Mario World.
It's the big Mario World.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what the advances are for the Zelda game could be. But I think that if you're going to ask for $90, it's got to be a big boy. So Zelda or Mario. It's got to be a big boy.
Eric says, "What are some other games that both of you are really looking forward to get your hands on this summer and beyond?" I'm looking forward to the Pre-Stink that's coming out on PC and Xbox or console, I should say. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Kingmaker. That looks like a fun game. What's another game coming out? If Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out this year, that'll probably be the one game I buy at a really high price, if I buy it at all. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to RoboCop, the DLC that comes out this summer. And there's one more game that I'm looking forward to I can't really think of. All depending on how I like Borderlands 3. I might be looking forward to Borderlands 4 when it comes out later this year. What about you, Sarge? What kind of games are you looking forward to this year or and beyond?
What am I looking forward to? Let's see. For this year, GTA 6.
Or beyond.
GTA 6. I want a fully fledged out Battlefield game without the bullshit. So we'll see if this one makes it or not. I'd like to see an RTS. I'd like to see a decent RTS come out. And I want to see another Star Wars Battlefront game as well. I want to see a Star Wars game, like the one that those mod guys.
See that thing I sent you?
The mods that those guys are doing, that Saga series for the Battlefront 2 mod on the PC
through
incredible.
Sandstorm, Infantry Sandstorm, whatever.
Absolutely incredible.
Looks amazing. $30 game, Sarge. It's a $30 game.
I'm seriously thinking about buying it.
I said to Sarge yesterday, I texted him. This is exactly what I said to him. I sent him a picture of the new Battlefront. It's from Saga. His new Star Wars Battlefront game is insane from Saga. I said, fuck AAA games. We don't need new games. We have mods. Okay? I don't need to buy a full price game. I can buy a $30 game that's been out for a couple years.
What's the name of the first person shooter? The
It's
one that you're supposed to buy?
Sandstorm, I think it is.
It's a mill sim. It's called Sandstorm, and then you get the mod that turns
Sandstorm
it into
Infantry or something like that.
That turns it into the Star Wars mod. It's incredible,
right? It's great. Here, look, I'll
Eric.
bring it up
Mind's Eye to me, I don't want to say this right away, but I'm looking at it, and it looks like it's a hack game that they're trying to piggyback off of GTA. That it looks like GTA, and they want to get people excited for it. But I've never heard of that game ever. And all of a sudden, they're talking about Mind's Eye like it's the next greatest thing. I don't get it. I looked at it. I see what it is. Even the explosion when he blows up the car with the rocket launcher, that's like old school GTA explosion where the car jumps into the air and blows up. It's the same animation. So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, is this some kind of hacked game? Like that they're just trying to sell? I'm sorry, Krebsy, what are you agreeing with me with? The Sandstorm Battlefront game or the thing I was just talking about? Like, this looks amazing. Like, I don't know what else you want from a video game, but this looks incredible.
Yeah, that's it. Sandstorm Insurgents. That's it. This is a mod for Sandstorm Insurgents.
Thank you, Krebsy.
Right?
It's just
Sandstorm
weird.
Insurgents. This
and
is a mod.
I think
this
there's
is
so
free.
much.
This
I
is
think
free.
there's so much shit going on, Krebsy. I think there's so much stuff going on right now. I don't think anyone's actually taking a good look at it. But it looks like it's a fake game. Like they're trying to sell you like an illusion of a game. I'm sure people will buy it, but it'll be nothing like what you think it is.
Well, look, at least it's doing something that we ask for, right? Don't show it until you have something to show. We haven't heard anything about it, and all of a sudden we see it, and now it's coming out, right? For Mind's Eye.
I'm waiting. Do you remember that game called This
They
Is
showed
Vegas?
gameplay. They showed gameplay.
Do you remember the game called This Is Vegas? Remember that game?
Oh, I was so hyped for that game, Sarge, and it never came out.
Does anyone remember the game called This Is Vegas? Anyone remember that from back in the day?
Just look at this. This is Sandstorm Insurgents, right?
Yeah, and that's Sagas.
And this is the game that they modded over it.
Look at it.
Why do I need to buy an $80 Nintendo game? Why do I need to pay for a live service game? Why?
Oh, is Paradise a fake game, Nate? Is that the one? I thought it was Mind's Eye. It looks like it's straight out of the GTA. It's got the same animations.
Right? There's PvE in this. There's co-op in this. You can go against by yourself and play against the NPCs.
Is that true, Ron? Is that true? This is Vegas ended up becoming Sleeping Dogs? Are you being serious?
This Vegas ended up being Sleeping Dogs. Did it? No. That's not true. Is it, Ron?
There's a lot of hearsay going on in the chat right now. I'm trying to figure out what's real and what's not. Mind's Eye is made by former Rockstar devs.
I know that. Yeah, Mind's Eye is made by the former Rockstar. Yeah. Is that true, Ron?
I think Ron's just fucking with us. He hasn't been.
You
in
might
a
be
while.
serious, but where's your info from? Is that true?
Ron likes to troll every once in a while. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Well, let's be honest. Ron, the entire time, he's always just making jokes. So now when he comes out saying something, it's like cried
yeah.
wolf.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about here, Ron.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Is that true? Here, I'm gonna look it up. This is Vegas game is
No trolling on this one. Okay, Ron, I got you.
okay. Here we go. Reddit says it's Reddit. Canceled $60 million GTA rival. This is Vegas. Game history secrets. Okay. Here it says, I've been playing Watch Dogs lately, and I've been also surprising amount of fun. It just also free roaming. GTA Saints Row. Where's my favorite
crypto
part?
and it's crazy.
The game history secrets. Is this real? This is 20 minutes long. I'm gonna have to watch this after the show. I'm gonna do some research and I'll get back to you, Ron, because if that's true, that's it. Very interesting. This is Vegas.
At least they use the assets.
Yeah, this is Vegas. Was supposed to be a really, really big game. The way they wanted to do in it and stuff, it was huge. And then all of a sudden, it just went belly up. No trolling on this one. Okay.
So So is there 3 games? GTA, Paradise, and the Mind's Eye game all look like GTA? It just so happens they're all talking about it during the
Paradise,
same year?
though, is the fake one, though. That's the one that was using assets and stuff like that for GTA. Mind's Eye is the ex-developers, okay, the ex-developers of Rockstar, and they made Mind's Eye. Paradise is people that took assets and just started making the game and trying to pass it off as a real game. And then there's Rockstar.
It's completely coincidental that they talk about it the same year that GTA is about to release, though, right? It's just coincidental, right? And
Yeah,
the
the Paradise thing is the one with the fake streamer ads. They were using straight up cuts from the actual video game of GTA. Eclipse says, and the other, and another one that they kind of announced 8 hours ago. It looks like a scam. Also, what was the game that was announced 8 hours ago? Jesus, a lot of stuff happens before we have a show.
Guys are just pumping out shit for the weekend.
All right, tomorrow, I can't stream tomorrow, so I might play some video games over the weekend and then upload them on 30 and Still Gaming. If not, make sure you guys go check out some of the uploads I'm going to be pushing out this weekend, which is basically just breakout videos of all the content that we've did all week. I'm going to try something new this week. I'm not going to post where it comes to subscribers. I'm just going to upload them, and they're going to be up there. I'm going to put multiple videos at once. I saw other people doing it. I want to see how it works out. So that'll be happening this weekend. If I don't see you guys this weekend, if I stream or not, I'll see you guys on Monday. Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We do appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us. Give us your time for 1 minute, 1 hour. 1 minute or 1 hour. I do appreciate you very much. You can watch us after the fact right here on 30NSG to watch the past broadcast, or you can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else a podcast is listened to. Episode 436 is in the can. We appreciate you very much, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and